Hey, welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I am your host, Captivating Christian, and as always, you guys are my co hosts, and we will talk about some things. Hey, welcome to everybody up in the chat, up in the balcony. Hey, you doing, Patty Duke? Welcome. Always nice to see you, of course. And I will drop the link in the chat for anybody who wants to drop on and discuss anything. But as always, let's get into some things. The Brown is on deck, so we can definitely have our wellness moment. And so let's get started. So, boy, where can we begin? Where to begin? So, once again, we are faced with another reason to explain to white folks why Black Lives Matter. I guess. Um, which is always a shame. Welcome, everybody. Just popped in all at once. How you doing, Armand? Hey, Lindsey, how you doing? Smart show. Welcome. Yeah. So once again, here we are, stuck trying to explain to the good old, well, not all of them, but most of the Saltine Nation, why Black Lives Matter, and why they like to say, like Nikki Haley said last night, racism. This is not a racist country, and racism does not exist. And in the words of that, I would just like to use a from Barack Obama himself. So yes, let's just start with uh, night one of the RNC. It was a hot mess. It was nothing that I, of course, did not expect. I expect every bit of the race baiting, cowing to the fears of white America. It's just the same old song, and it got him elected. Let alone people just did not vote. So he figured if it's not broke, why fix it? I'm gonna run it on again, and he did. I was really disappointed by what was going on, but it was what it was. Am I surprised? No, absolutely not. Um, Nikki Haley is about the only one that surprised me with that whole bit. Tim Scott, I already knew that he was going to be uh, the token, which is why they ended on him. But the reports were that Donald Trump was supposed to end the night with a speech. But it's amazing how they ended the night with Tim Scott. Of course, the token black person to make everybody feel like, see, look, he made it. And by far, yeah, he did to an extent. And the rest of his helping hand came from white people to make sure that he continues to perpetrate this. See, we're not bad. Our party's not bad. We're not racist. See, we let you in. The same party that made Michael Steele chairman of the RNC only because there was a black man running for president of the United States. And then once that happened, and they didn't see no increase in their base as far as African Americans were concerned, they gave Michael Steele his walking papers. So I mean, I don't know, I don't get it. And everybody was on a different page. Some people were saying racism don't exist, while Donald Trump Jr. said, yeah, racism does exist. We got to end racism. So which one is it? Nikki Haley said it doesn't exist and it's not a racist country. So did y'all not link up and get your speechwriters to come up with something in unison? I mean, it was pure manipulation, purely feeding to the base. That couple from Minnesota, the ones who had their guns out, all in the face of protesters who was coming to their suburban, secluded, gated neighborhood. It looked like a scene from, what was that movie? The Purge. It looked like a scene from any other movie where somebody felt like, oh, get back, they're going to attack us, Walking Dead, or any one of these movies that deal with that. That's just what it looked like. And they're skating around what they were trying to say. really made it even more obvious that which line of the divide they stood on, and it made it very clear that they were talking to their millionaire friends who either lived in the neighborhood or surrounding areas. And you see how scared it made them that this Black Lives Matter protester wind up running for a seat and got it. That made them so nervous and so, oh my gosh, before you know it, we'll be overrun. Why? Because we get tired of seeing people who don't live in our neighborhoods, who are not from our neighborhoods, govern how our neighborhoods should be run and who gets to live in them. No, not anymore. Not surprised. So that was that. And to that, you get a... Come on, man. Right. So I am overly done with this, but of course, we have to watch the rest of the week and be fair to an extent. No, Michael Steele was good for the RNC. I do agree. He was good for the RNC, but the only reason why they picked him to chair the RNC was because Barack Obama was running to be president. That's the only reason. And then once that did not work for what they were trying to do, which was separate the black vote from people voting for Barack to vote for, someone else or the Republican ticket, they totally dismissed him and let him go. So, there was a reason to picking him to be chair of RNC. And for them, it wasn't necessarily because he was talented and could bring a new voice to the RNC, although that was his hope, I'm sure. But that was not their move. Just like when they right now have made this woman the chair of the RNC, she became the chair of the RNC right before Hillary made the run in 2016. So it's always to kind of counteract what the other side is doing. So, I mean, with that, it's like, okay, I got you. They don't play fair, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And hopefully with him, he never plays fair, but it's okay. But for everybody else who doesn't play fair, because you'd be in jail. Right. They go directly to jail. So it doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I'm not for it, but it is what it is. And this is the system in which we live in, unfortunately. So here we have, along with everything, of course, the young man getting shot after breaking up a fight and going to his own vehicle to attend to his children who were in the car. They wind up, the police officer, I guess, was telling him to stop or what have you, and begin to pull on his shirt. And he just continued to ignore the police officer and get the hell in the car. You're like, you have no reason to stop me. I have no reason to be under arrest. I didn't do anything. I'm going about my business. Children in the car. He proceeds to shoot. Now, why would you shoot at me with children in the car? Because you see no regard for my life, let alone the life of my children. And that's very clear, which prime example to why we say Black Lives Matter. Because obviously, if Black Lives Matter to him and to the rest of those officers, there would have been no reason to have guns drawn, especially when you look over in the vehicle and see children. But it's a mindset. It's almost like a controlled mindset that you not only want for that person you're apprehending, but you want the children to also grow up in this mindset of you better obey police at all times. Don't question them. They are the authority. And if you don't, these will be the consequences. And, it's definitely time for a change. So when we say dismantle the police department, it's dismantling funds. Let's be very clear. Nobody wants to live in a lawless society. Nobody but Donald Trump, right? But nobody wants to live in a lawless society. We all want to be safe, so on and so forth. But the excessive force is unnecessary. And it does no purpose for people who are supposed to protect communities to have this overwhelming show of force, of military force at that, to handle people. So that's where it becomes a huge problem. And then that the people who are policing are not the people who live or grew up in set communities. It is a prime example of the rise of Hitler. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the same thing. After World War One, there was this growing swell of look what they're doing to this nation. Look how they're dirtying this nation. We have to stop this. We have to be true patriots of what we believe in and stop all this crime and the Jews stealing from us, taking from our natural resources, trying to change our way of life to their way of life. We no longer need that. And people started to believe in this and go with it. And really felt a sense of pride and duty. Now they went, and as you know in history books, they went as far as to rounding these people up, separating these people from their families, killing these people. And then once everything came down on them, of course, the war began, war ended, they wind up losing. Then all of a sudden, everybody started scrambling and talking about, oh no, I wasn't a part of this. I was never a part of that. I don't know what you're talking about. And this is the same thing that you will see start to happen now. They start seeing Donald Trump losing in the polls, and really there's no hope. What happens? They're going to start running for the hills and acting like they never was a part of this group. You can look at Lindsey Graham right now, the man who thought he would always have a permanent seat in South Carolina. Lady G is worried, as he should be, because although some people may vote for Trump because they, whatever, they may not vote for him. His alliance to Trump is not a guaranteed ticket for him. Jamie Harrison, who is running for his seat in South Carolina, is gaining steam, not only gaining steam on him, but is dollar for dollar raising the same amount of money that Lindsey Graham is raising. So Lady G's panties are in a bunch right now, which, I don't blame him. A word on the street is all of his little dates that he's been hiring from DC to South Carolina have been telling on him that, one, he's a cheap date, and two, just waiting for the pictures to drop. Not that anybody wants to see Lindsey Graham naked. Come on, man. That's nasty. But, whatever. It is what it is. We shall see. Lindsey Graham is definitely worried, as he should be. So we shall see. But I just hope that, please, South Carolina, come out and vote. There is no way you can allow that when your ex-governor basically telling you to your face racism doesn't exist, which is ridiculous. We remember Dylan Roof, who went up into Emmanuel Church and shot up 9 people. And not only did he shoot up 9 people, but when they apprehended him so peacefully on the way to take him to, that whole process, he was hungry. So they stopped by and got him some Burger King. He killed 9 people, but he was worthy enough to get Burger King. Right. And here we have a young man breaking up a fight in his community to get back in his car. And as he's proceeding to get back in his car, police officer wants to make sure he rounds up everybody because he feels the need to do so until he is, I guess, cleared of who did what to whom. With his children in the car. Now imagine what these, I think it was 3, 5, and 8-year-old children feel. Imagine the trauma they must be going through. But again, this is the set and the psyche that they are trying to implement on our children. If we want to talk about, everybody's talking about this kind of agenda that is being pushed from other places. That's the exact agenda. That's the agenda that they want to push. Forget all the other stuff. That kind of stuff is just like, We want you to fight amongst yourselves and sit back. But the main agenda is police. It's over enforcement. It's by any means necessary. We will smother you till you have no voice. So every time you think about raising your voice, this is going to happen. The same way that they used it to kind of let slaves know, hey, if you try to run, this is what's going to happen to you. You're going to wind up being hung from a tree or a bridge, or a limb will get cut off. So the more and more these things happen, we need to start really paying attention and really using our voice and speaking out on these things and not just being silent. And yes, it does get very frustrating. And yes, it does get tiresome to keep seeing the same things over and over and over and over again. Sorry, that's my dryer. Okay, great. It does get tiresome to keep seeing the same things over and over, keep seeing the same videos, because it puts us in a place to where in which, you know, we can't even deal with it anymore. It's like, how could you constantly see this and still feel a way? But you have to understand that your voice, you saying that, and the fire that it enlights in you, you are then to carry that torch to be the voice for that person, for that fallen person. So we definitely have to make sure that we do that. Hey, everybody. Thank you for popping in the room. Hey, what's up, Conscious? How you doing? Who popped up in here that I did not see? Trademark, how you doing? Jane London, welcome. Brother Nate, how you doing? Hey, Miss T Velocity, how you doing? Always great to see you. Pandy Hair, how you doing? Nice to see you. J Love, what's going on? Lynn T, hey. So that's where we are right now. The RNC does start in about 3 minutes, and I do have it shared here, so I guess we can kind of simultaneously watch it together, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be much of the same. It's going to be far toned down from yesterday, however, because, of course, Mike Pence is the the calm for the rest of the Republicans who cringe at what things Donald Trump and his loonies out there say. But my whole thing is, if you are against it, you're against it, and your silence is complicit. So therefore, you can't say you're against it, or no, I don't think he should go that route. But I basically mean what he's saying. No, you know exactly what he's saying. You know what the people are saying, and it is what it is, which means you're okay with it. So hold on one second.
Feeding off the energy in front of you, but in Andrew Mellon Moratorium, they're speaking from a podium with no one.
Hold up one moment. So they're getting ready right now. Speaking. Nobody's speaking yet. They're just showing the auditorium where they're speaking from. So as they get ready to get this thing started and listen to more race baiting, this shall be quite interesting. Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? If you did earlier and I didn't see it, just pop it in the chat again and I'll address it. But I was just going. Hey, Nanny, how you doing? Hey, Auntie Donna, how you doing? What's this? Hold on one second, guys. Hey, I'm back. Give me 1 second. Let me unmute this.
But among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Without life, there can be no liberty. Without liberty, there is no happiness. Without equality, there is no opportunity. America has strived since its founding to promote equality under the law, to correct injustices, and to ensure opportunity for all.
Absolutely.
It is a work in progress, not always perfect. Some look at American opportunity and see only problems. They want equal outcome, not equal opportunities. They criticize without solutions, demand wealth without work. Their ways are historical failures evidenced by tyranny and poverty.
Who demands stuff without work?
The American dream inspired by
funny.
American
I can't.
opportunity is the engine of entrepreneurship.
Oh, it's beautiful, Mike.
The inspiration to the greatest inventions, the highest achievements, and establishing a quality of life second to none, providing jobs, creating futures, fulfilling dreams. In America, opportunity preserves individual freedom. It leads to exceptionalism. It's a bright, shining light, an example for all to see. Tonight, we explore together America, land of opportunity.
Opportunity for that white boy right there. That's who the opportunity is for.
From Washington, D.C., welcome to the 2020 Republican National Convention. Tonight, celebrating America as the land of opportunity.
I'm going to invite you to join your faith with mine, and let's pray in agreement. Lord, we come before you to ask for your spirit of peace to come over hurting communities in Wisconsin tonight. We pray for healing and comfort to Jacob Blake and his family. We pray for your protection over those who put their lives in harm's way to bring safety and security to our streets. We pray that the truth and justice will be at the heart of all decisions that are made by our leaders, and that we as a people will seek reconciliation with you as we do the same with each other. Thank you, Lord, for your goodness over our lives, for your blessing over our nation, for your guiding hand over every person that calls the United States of America their home. Lord, we thank you for all that have gone before us and have sowed seeds of sacrifice for our freedom, for our prosperity, and for our peace. Those that gave their lives so that we could live and achieve the American dream. Your word declares in 2 Corinthians, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. This country was founded by the people for their God.
No, it wasn't.
Liberty, freedom, equality.
No.
It's what we want in our country.
It was.
Lord, we invite you into our homes.
They came here for religious
into our
freedom,
lives.
not.
Give us revelation that will overthrow any enemies that stand against us so that we will be victorious in this next season. We need you. Let your kingdom come. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We surrender to your plans and purpose for our lives. We ask, bring heaven down to earth over every person here and all those watching today. As we move into this next chapter in our journey to greatness, we ask for your presence to be with us. Lead us, Lord. Give us strategies from heaven. I declare the words of Isaiah 11:2 over our president, vice president, and all government authorities from every state in our nation. May the Spirit of the Lord rest on him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding. Let us stand together in unity.
No, thank you. I
as
can
we
pass on
embrace another chapter on our journey to greatness. I decree and declare, America, the best is yet to come.
It sure
and I
is.
ask all this
When
in
he
the name
leaves
of
office.
Jesus. Amen.
It sure is. As soon as he leaves office.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that's just who this country is for, you.
Yate. I'm Myron Lizer, the Vice President of the Navajo Nation. I give this address from the majestic rock spires of Shiprock, Sabet's Eye, or Rock with Wings, as known by our Dene people.
Now, what casino is he in charge
many
of?
of our ancestral leaders sought to govern and lead a nation within a nation. They sought to lead their people into the promises of a better way of life for their children's children. It is also where they have not been as successful as the rest of America. Our First Nations people, the host people of the land, we are still here. Our Creator placed us here and knew for such a time as this, we would have an opportunity for an appeal to heaven. You see, our people have never been invited into the American dream.
J-Love,
I'm not
here for that because the police shouldn't have shot him at all. There was no reason for him to shoot him. He was no threat to anyone. His back was turned towards him and he was walking away. So there was no threat to him whatsoever to open fire. And definitely in front of his children. There's no way to explain that.
The Navajo Nation once led the nation in per capita positive cases because of the health disparities that previous administrations failed to improve. Whenever we meet with President Trump, he has always made it a priority to repair the relationship with our federal family. Recently, President Trump signed the first ever presidential proclamation officially recognizing missing and murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives. He established a task force called
As he disrespected you and called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas, right? Come on.
To improve public safety and support victims of crime in the Native American community. As a result, a cold case office was recently opened on the Gila River Indian community. The president has reactivated the White House Council on Native American Affairs to promote economic development and rural prosperity in the Indian country. President Trump also strengthened the Supreme Court by nominating strong conservative judges like Neil Gorsuch, who supports Native American rights. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm excited to endorse President Trump's re-election. And Mr. President, we look forward to hosting you very soon. Come visit our land we call Denetra. Yeah, thank you very much.
I had always had this
right, the same thing I said, Lindsey. Like, what casino does he own? Because clearly he has to. Oh boy, here we go.
I caught my very first felony conviction at 16 years old, and that type of behavior had led me into more and more arrests, getting in trouble until the age of 37 years old. I was arrested for a string of bank robberies. And based off of my criminal history, there is a potential that a federal judge can sentence me up to 23 years.
Right, definitely ignoring the pipeline. But they're sitting through their resources, right?
I played a let's make a deal with God. And I asked God to climb into the robe of that judge. Whether it's 10 years or 50 years, I'm going to invest the rest of my life serving you. And I stood before that federal judge. Judge Mahan took his glasses off, leaned back and said, I don't know why I'm going to do this. But he said, I'm not going to give you what you deserve. And he gave me a lesser sentence. And as I laid on that stainless steel cell, shackled by my hands and my feet, I heard God utter into my spirit, my son, I honored what you asked me to do. He said, never forget the promise that you made to me. And ever since that day, I got up off that floor and my life went in a 180-degree turn. in the other direction.
Okay.
When John got that sentence, I just shook my head. I said, wow, John, you are destined for bigger things than prison. My name is Richard Beasley. I was an FBI special agent for about 25 and a half years. It was something about his demeanor when he walked into that room. I had this feeling like everything's going to be okay.
Now, what has he done for other people that was in his same predicament?
So I met
That's
him
what I want to
at McDonald's, and he's got a Bible with him. I've seen that before where guys have used a Bible as a prop. It took me about...
You're using it right now.
This was not a prop with John. He was a changed guy from the man that I arrested, several years before.
When I saw the way that he treated me fairly, I saw the man behind the suit. I started thinking, man, if that worked for me with this law enforcement officer, how can I multiply that and get more law enforcement officers involved so that we can impact this on a larger scale? President Trump, he had made a bunch of promises. Let me just be transparent. When he first started talking about the things he was going to do, I'm sitting there going, wait a minute here. I mean, is he serious? Because everything he was saying that he wanted to do was the stuff that needs to be done. And before he walked out that meeting that day, I promised I'll make it out there to come speak at one of your graduations. I heard that they were phenomenal. When he stood there in that graduation and he went out of his way to shake the hand of every one of those 29 graduates.
It was 29 people.
On a whole nother vista of life. Come on, man. The office of the President of the United States.
And they were all mostly people of color. So of course he's gonna shake their hands. It's a photo op. Come on, people, let's get it together.
2 years ago, I was honored to tell John Ponder's story of transformation in the Rose Garden on the National Day of Prayer. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome him back to the White House. John's life is a beautiful testament to the power of redemption. John grew up without his father. As he tells it, my mother was strong, but she wasn't able to keep us out of the gangs and off of the streets, and they were violent streets. At the age of 38, he was arrested for bank robbery. While John was in prison, he began reading the Bible and listening to Christian radio. One day he heard Reverend Billy Graham on the radio proclaim, Jesus wants to be Lord of your life. On that day, John dedicated his life to Christ. He spent the rest of his time in prison studying the Bible.
White Jesus.
When he was released,
thank you, white
he knocked
Jesus.
at his door. It was the officer who put him in jail, FBI Special Agent Richard Beasley, who said, I want you to know that I've been praying for you. Now, Richard and John are best friends, and we are grateful that Richard is here with us today. In the last 10 years since John was released, he has created one of the most successful reentry programs, Hope for Prisoners in Las Vegas. I was glad to speak there earlier this year. As John says, Hope for Prisoners is a movement that began as a dream in a tiny prison cell and is now making a difference in the lives of thousands, truly bringing hope that there is an opportunity and a community that is waiting and willing to offer them a second chance. John, we honor your devotion to showing.
So why hasn't he stopped incarceration of black people? Because the mass incarceration has not stopped for that little jail thing he signed.
Former inmates the best chance to build a new life and achieve their own American dream. And a great American dream.
You mean the same American dream that your dad had, that he gave you with the millions of dollars he left you? Right.
I can't tell you how grateful I am to have the opportunity to speak here today. Not so long ago, my life was running from the police, fearing the police, and avoiding the police. Not because of anything that the police had done to me personally, but due to the animosity I had allowed to grow inside of me, making me believe that they were my enemy.
Oh, that's what it is.
Praise God.
So we have animosity inside of us.
Proud American citizen.
So we have really.
Come on, man. My transformation began in a prison.
We have
cell
animosity
where I found
now.
myself a 3-time convicted felon facing yet another sentence. I gave my life to Jesus and made him a promise that I would spend the rest of my days helping others like me.
Oh, praise
my
white
help
Jesus.
And support came from the unlikeliest of places, the FBI agent who arrested me, Richard Beasley. He is now
You are fake news.
and has been a source of encouragement to me throughout my entire journey. I am grateful for the men and women of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department who volunteer their time to people who return into our local community after incarceration. These are the real life heroes.
Are they?
Their lives armed with the promise that
That's
they
what it
made to
sounds like.
protect and to serve have made a tremendous
You are fake
impact in the
news.
lives of men and women we integrate back into our society. My hope for America is that formerly incarcerated people will be afforded the opportunity to take advantage of the fact that we live in a nation of second chances. My
Hey,
hope
Just
for
Jess, how you
America is
doing?
that law enforcement and people in the communities across our country can come together.
Oh, he's got a
and
tattoo on his
realize
neck and
that as
everything. What a
Americans,
thug.
we have more
You are
in
fake
common
news.
than we have differences. My hope for our great nation is to continue on this
Tell that
pathway
to our
of
dead
being
young
the
men and
most
women that are
prosperous
dying.
country in the world.
I'm so proud of John with his life's turnaround and for all the lives that he's helped to change.
Oh, praise white
It may be
Jesus.
hard to believe that as a retired FBI agent, one of my best friends is a person I arrested for bank robbery. When I met John,
He said it was a person of color. That's what he wanted to
scared,
say.
frustrated, and anxious about his future. On the drive to prison, I stopped at a convenience store and bought John a coffee and a donut.
Oh, did
After he
you?
was sentenced,
Oh,
John sent
damn.
me
He
a
still
necktie
wasn't
and
good
a
enough to get
thanking
no
me
Burger
for
King,
being a
though.
gentleman. 5 years later,
Right, one
when he got out of
situation
prison,
makes
John called
everything
me
all
and wanted
great.
to meet for lunch. He was a different man. He talked about starting a reentry program for men and women coming out of prison. Over time,
You
John
are
earned the
fake
trust and
news.
respect of the law enforcement community, many of whom volunteer in John's Hope for Prisoners program. I'm grateful for President Trump's commitment.
Look at
to
him
criminal
just
justice
standing
reform.
there.
On February 20th of
He
this
just
year,
wants to hear how many
he was the
times
guest
they say
speaker at the
Trump.
Hope for Prisoners graduation. He stayed much longer than scheduled to hand out diplomas to the 29 men and women. who
Of
graduated
course, because
that
they were
day.
people of color, so he could take pictures.
The most
Duh.
important man in the free world, shaking hands and pledging his administration's support to
I'll wait.
ex-offenders. Their families were there. The community was there. What a great second chance. I also appreciate
on, man.
President Trump's support for law enforcement. I always felt like I had strong support as an FBI agent.
Oh,
but there's
God.
nothing worse than knowing you're being second guessed when you're doing your job. In certain parts of the country right
'Cause
now,
you're killing
law
people.
enforcement doesn't feel like they have the support from their local leaders. They're being painted with a broad brush, unfairly, with calls for defunding. But as President Trump knows, the overwhelming percentage of law
You are
enforcement
fake
officers
news.
are good,
Because you're
smart
killing people.
who are doing their jobs very well. And they can change the world working with people. like
Wrong.
John. Thank you. So now I'd like to invite John's wife, Jamie, to join us as I grant John, I'm not sure you know this, a full pardon.
Oh,
So I don't know if you know that, Jamie.
oh,
Come on over
gee.
here. It's just an honor. And you have done incredible work.
Thank you, sir.
And he married to a white woman?
All of Nevada.
You are fake news.
Every place in this country is very proud of you. The job you've done, bringing people back. And you're right, I was supposed to be there for 5 minutes. I stayed for an hour and a half because it was so interesting to me. Congratulations to both.
Thank you, sir.
Richard, thank you very much for the job you did.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, gee, golly. Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Okay. I think I'll give it to Jamie.
Now, all this is going to get you reelected. Right. One person. Yeah. Great. Let's get a move on. Next.
Good evening. I'm Senator Randall
Oh,
from
boy.
Kentucky. Donald Trump and I met
This
many
idiot.
years ago before he was running for anything.
Wrong.
When I first met him, I recall being struck by how down to earth he was. He seemed like just a normal
Wrong.
guy. Okay, a normal guy with his own plane and helicopter.
You are fake news.
Counting.
Because he talked
I was
mad
planning a
crap
medical
about
mission
Donald
trip
Trump in the
to Guatemala
beginning.
to perform charity eye surgeries, and we needed money to fund the trip. Donald Trump
He's so
offered to
full
help
of
and
it.
immediately came through for us. Not only did he support my medical mission to Guatemala, but he also contributed to another mission trip to Haiti a year later. We performed hundreds of cataract surgeries in both
Right.
countries. Nothing is
Definitely
more
going to take
amazing
back his pardon if he
than
don't
removing the
win.
bandages from a person's eyes and watching them as they see their
That's
loved
funny.
ones again.
He surely will.
Donald Trump helped me make that happen. A few years later, we were opponents, both running for president. And we all know how that turned out. But I'm proud of the job Donald Trump has done as president. I don't always agree with him, but our occasional policy differences are far outweighed by our significant agreements. But more important than simple agreement is accomplishment. President Trump gets things done. When some in Congress wanted a revenue-neutral tax plan, Donald Trump and I worked together to make sure that it was a true tax cut. I brought President Trump an idea for better, less expensive health insurance called Association Health Plans. Donald Trump overturned years of red tape and bureaucrats, and he made it happen. While others talked about criminal justice reform, President Trump actually signed the First Step Act, the first real reform in a generation, and one that sought to undo the harm that others, like Joe Biden, have done. For those of us who lament the Biden crime bill that locked up a generation of young black men.
What Biden crime bill? That was not Biden's crime bill.
That still wreaks havoc.
That was the Clinton crime bill, sir, to be exact.
I'm supporting President Trump because he believes
and the crime bill that Donald Trump say still allows mass incarceration. So let's be clear. Stop telling that lie. Mass incarceration still exists.
I flew with him to Dover Air Force Base to honor 2 soldiers whose remains were coming home from Afghanistan.
You are fake news.
Forget that evening. I can tell you the president not only felt the pain of these families, but that the president is committed to ending this war. President Trump is the first president in a generation to seek to end war rather than start one. He intends to end the war in Afghanistan. He is bringing our men and women home. Madison once wrote, "No nation can preserve its freedom in the midst of continuous warfare." I'm proud to finally see a president who agrees with that. Compare President Trump with the disastrous record of Joe Biden, who's consistently called for more war.
It ain't shit.
Joe Biden
I'll say it for you. It really ain't shit.
The worst geopolitical
all it does is
put
to be factual, it puts rehab programs in the prisons, and people who are released, people who are released, it gives them access to some rehab programs, but it does not stop mass incarceration, because the prisons have to have a certain amount of population inside of them in order to function. So they have to always maintain that they keep a certain level of occupancy in the prisons.
Join me in supporting President Trump. To those of you who want lower taxes and better, less expensive health care, join me in supporting President Trump. To those of you who want to stand up and fight the socialists poisoning our schools and burning our cities, join me in supporting President Trump.
Talk about why are they burning the cities? And who's burning the cities? Because it's showing us. We know who it is. It's your counterparts who dress up like they are part of the angry mob, and they start lighting stuff on fire. Because we don't have access to police departments to burn them to the ground in Seattle.
Your everyday man, the forgotten man or woman, the people that wake up every morning, go to work, do their job, come home to their kids and families, and are faithful and consistent. The people that have built America.
Oh, well, it ain't none of you.
People within our country.
It ain't none of you, because you didn't build it.
That are hard workers. We do not hold signs. We are not on street corners. We are waking up at the crack of dawn.
Well, who's on street corners?
Earning our living.
There's that language again, not on street corners. Who's on street corners?
Are affecting people in positive ways.
Real people that work hard every day.
Real
they
people.
Just want to earn a good living and enjoy life.
Yeah, like cowboys.
And he really knows them, understands them.
Does he?
He has been on the job site, interacting with people from all backgrounds.
Does he now?
I've never had someone care so much about making sure people have job security.
Since when?
The president's job is to protect us, keep us safe, and help make our life better.
Wrong.
and the opportunity to pursue the American dream. That's what Donald Trump is doing.
As a cattle rancher and a farmer, I do feel that we are not forgotten with this administration. We have hope for preserving our industry.
My hope is that we lift the regulations that have stripped away.
I'm sure it is getting real crazy
to do what they innately know how to do best.
I feel like Trump is definitely pushing more for the steel mills, the fishermen, just us making our own products and bringing everything in. He's pushing so hard, and I see it truly coming alive.
I do
Code
feel
language.
that President Trump has the interests of all those Americans tied together. I really do.
Of course you do. But he doesn't.
Good evening. My name is Jason Joyce, and I'm an 8th-generation lobster fisherman from Swans Island, Maine.
He's a
I make my
lobster
living from
fisherman.
Lobster fishing,
Lobster.
oyster farming, and providing eco tours in the beautiful waters near Acadia National Park, where I have over 200 years of family history.
Oh, it's great.
I have to confess, I didn't support Trump in 2016. Skeptical that he shared my conservative views, I expected him to flip-flop on his campaign promises. But he has followed through on his promises, including
promises
last week
was
when he
that?
brokered a deal to end European Union tariffs of 8% on Maine live lobsters and up to 20% on Maine lobster products, which is great news for Maine's lobstermen and women. I live in an island with 370 residents, and lobstering is how we provide for our families. Maine's lobstermen are true environmentalists. We practice conservation every day. If we didn't, we'd be putting ourselves out of business.
Can't be possible when he's
4 years ago,
allowing the companies to dump their chemicals into your oceans.
They did it to cater to environmental activists. Although Maine's lobstermen don't fish there, Obama's executive order offended us greatly.
Oh, did it?
Circumvented the Fisheries Council's input. President Trump reversed that decision, reinstating the rules.
Of course, as he reversed anything.
And he supports a process that seeks and respects fishermen's views.
Oh, does
As
he?
long as Trump is president, fishing families like mine will have a voice. But if Biden wins, he'll be controlled by the environmental extremists who want to circumvent long-standing rules.
Oh, no, they want to make sure the environment still is around for generations to come, not just for the moment.
When he sees something isn't right, he's fearless in fixing it. He listens to working people. He nominates judges who respect the Constitution and the right to life. He keeps his word,
no, he
like
doesn't.
eliminating the European tariffs and moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I hope you will join
That had
me this
nothing to
time
do with
in voting for President
the
Trump.
United States. That was
Stand
just
up for your
for
country.
fluff.
Thank you.
Stand up for your country. Yeah, all right. Stand up for your country. Wonder what that means.
Good evening. My name is Chris Peterson. My husband Gary, our family, and I milk 1,000 cows on a dairy farm in Grantsburg, Wisconsin, a small middle American town. Truth be told, until I married my cute farmer from Grantsburg a long time ago, I was a city slicker from Minneapolis.
How's many
which
black
is about
people
7
in there?
miles south of us.
Yeah, how many people of
Donald
color
Trump
do you
became
have in your
president in the
neighborhood?
middle of the Great Depression for dairy farmers in Wisconsin. In 2016, prices were
Great
horrible,
Depression?
and longtime generational farms across the nation were going out of business.
Like they are right
In
now?
2017, our 120-year-old barn, which served as our milking center, caught fire and burned to the ground. Our cows were spared, but because they needed to be milked 3 times a day, farmers, friends, and complete strangers from all over northern Wisconsin helped haul them to other farms where they stayed until we could rebuild.
Oh, gee,
By the
thanks.
end of 2018,
Wonderful.
we had a new state-of-the-art robotic milking facility that allows our cows to milk themselves 3
Gee
times a day.
golly.
At about the
Cows
same
can
time,
milk themselves.
President
Look at
Trump's
that.
economic boom began helping dairy farmers across the nation.
Hmm.
As a businessman, President Trump understands
Too bad I don't
that
drink
farming is a
milk
complicated, capital-intensive, and risky
from a
business.
cow.
More than any president in my lifetime, he's acknowledged the importance of farmers and agriculture. That support and focus on negotiating.
So why are some of the farmers going bankrupt right now due to his tariffs? Please explain that one.
Business was booming again.
Is it?
Business boomed right until the COVID-19 shutdown in March.
Oh no, it stopped booming way before that.
One of the few in the world that produces
Talk about them
nearly all
tariffs,
its own
honey.
food. Fewer still
He was
understand
going
how
back and
close
forth
our
with
food
China
production and distribution system
until they
came
would agree
collapsing
to give
this
his
past
daughter some patterns so
President
she can
Trump understood
sell her
and again took
merchandise
steps to provide the support
and they
we
can
need.
make it.
President Trump took the necessary action knowing that agriculture is our backbone and strength, critical to our national
I don't think
security.
he knows that.
Our entire economy and dairy farming are once again roaring back.
Is it?
One person deserves the credit and our vote. President Donald J. Trump.
Okay. All right. Not true.
What was happening prior to President Trump, you had businesses that were overregulated, not a friendly environment at all to start a company.
Overregulated. They were regulated to protect the environment and people.
Overbearing that the ranch was slowly sold off.
Yeah, because y'all was spraying chemicals into the air and food and drinking water. That's why.
It got to the point finally that middle America needed help.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
President Trump came in and was able to shed light on an area that had been so long left behind. Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was huge, especially for
right.
a community like ours that has a lot of small businesses.
Exactly. Keep it up. They'll be selling for nuggets, selling cow nuggets.
Changes that affected real Americans.
And the twins are back from Monday. We've got to make sure them pretty girls come back.
That is something that's huge for parents right now, especially Black moms whose kids are trapped in failing school districts.
That?
Before COVID hit, Black unemployment rate was at the lowest.
Seriously? It was not. It was not.
And they're earning a lot more for their family than what they had previously.
The show is crazy.
Simplifying the government, it's really cut the handcuffs off of America again and allowed us to grow and move forward in a way that I have
No, it allows you to steal and rob and grow. That's what it allows you to do.
That is the American dream.
People feel that they can support and have a family and it can build and make us stronger as Americans.
Okay, well, if he's doing that, how come he allowed COVID to...
The first thing he's going to do is increase taxes on everyone.
Oh.
Wrong. That's taking away the American dream.
I think with the upcoming election, people just need to think about what is better for them and their family.
The president's job.
You are fake news.
No, don't need him to be the CEO of this country. Thank you.
Come on, man.
No, thank you.
Taxes.
Not for you.
I could go on for an hour and a half. The plan was working. Everybody had a job, making money, spending money, boom, bada bang, boop.
Come on, man.
Kids are gonna look up to me and say, "You are the
Seriously?
best mom for working, raising us." It's just tremendous what I could do, I guess.
You got a job right now?
Who loves his country. He's truly fighting for the American.
He doesn't give a shit about the country nor the people in it.
Hello, folks. You know me from TV and radio. I'm Larry Kudlow.
Oh, this
Years
one.
ago, I worked for Ronald Reagan. More recently, I helped the team craft Donald Trump's economic plan during the campaign. It was a roaring success, inheriting a stagnant economy on the front end of recession.
We were already on the way up.
Historic rollback of ownership.
You are fake news.
Crippled small business, unleashing energy to become the world's #1 producer, and free, fair, and reciprocal trade deals to bolster manufacturing, agriculture, technology, and other sectors.
You are fake news.
The economy was rebuilt in 3 years. Unemployment fell to the
Rebuild.
lowest rate of 3.5%.
You inherited that, sir. You did not.
Hispanics, women, all groups benefited.
You inherited this all at that one time.
A rising tide lifted all boats. Then came a once-in-100-year pandemic. It was awful. Health and economic impacts were tragic. Hardship and heartbreak were everywhere.
And death.
But presidential leadership came swiftly and effectively with an extraordinary rescue for health and safety to successfully fight the COVID virus.
Come on.
Great bipartisan rescue also saved the economy. Right now, our economic health is coming back. With emergency spending and tax cuts, Americans are going back to work. There's a housing boom. There's an auto boom, a manufacturing boom.
Yeah, because people trying to make money.
Stocks
people are trying to make money.
Territory. A V-shaped recovery.
Well, we know why the stocks are at a record. Because he's taking your retirement money and gambling it.
More tax cuts and regulatory rollback will be in store. Payroll tax cuts for higher wages, income tax cuts for the middle class.
Yeah, but they're not talking about the payroll tax taken away from Social Security. Not only that, going to make you pay for it at the end.
For small businesses. In economic terms, folks, this is no time for a $4 trillion tax hike. Coming out of the deep pandemic, who in their right mind could pick the pockets of taxpayers and drain money from their wallets and
he's already done that. What are you talking about?
Economic choice is very clear. Do you want economic health, prosperity, opportunity, and optimism?
Question, do you have it now?
Want to turn back to the dark days of stagnation, recession, and pessimism.
What?
I believe there can be better economic policies than we've had in recent
No, thank you, Mr. Cutlow.
So
I'll pass.
Stay with them.
I'll pass. Thanks. Next.
I'm John Peterson, owner of a second-generation metal fabrication business called Shui Metals. We've been stamping our products and services made in the USA since 1957. My brother and I purchased the business from my uncles almost 38 years ago. What was a 12-person shop has now grown into a company employing 165 people today. Like most companies that are successful over the long run, we had to reinvent ourselves as the market changed. 6 years ago, we invested heavily in our business, just as a great recession appeared. Barack Obama and Joe Biden, two career politicians who knew nothing about business, couldn't get the government out of our way. And it put our business in a tailspin.
So you mean to tell me he's been bankrupt 6 times and he knows a lot about business?
Cutting staff, a torturous experience. Come on, man! Employees are like family.
Stupid.
The Obama-Biden regulations left us no choice. It tied our lenders' hands and it deprived us of the lifeblood of our business, capital.
Did it?
We scratched and we clawed for 2 years, and then everything changed. Donald Trump was elected president, and he knew what it was like to build a company and create jobs. One of the first things he did was to cut red tape and put an end to draconian-type banking regulations. He also cut taxes on small businesses, allowing us to be more competitive both domestically and internationally. In fact, we increased revenues by 25% for 2 years in a row. By getting rid of the job-killing NAFTA and negotiating the U.S.-Mexican-Canada trade agreement, President Trump ensured a more competitive playing field for American
Was he a career politician? Absolutely
not. Even with all the challenges presented by the coronavirus, President Trump is rebuilding, and our economy is roaring back again. But when I hear
where's it roaring back to? The Depression?
Taxes, crush us with regulations, and weaken our
environmental regulations to protect the environment. So you can't throw chemicals into drinking water or anything else of that nature.
Some will not survive. And working men and women of America will get crushed yet again. This is not time to hand our government over to a washed-up career politician who will be nothing but a puppet of the radical left Democrats.
You mean the same puppet that Trump is for Russia? Come on.
Football team. Many may not realize that the Wisconsin Badgers and the president share 3 common qualities. They're smart, they're tough, and they're dependable.
You are fake news.
Businessman, I can tell you that those qualities
He's smart.
need in our country.
Yeah, he is smart.
And that's why
he had somebody take had his sister do his homework and somebody take his SATs. He's so smart. Yeah, he's smart. Get out of here.
You are fake news.
Good evening. I'm Sissy Graham Lynch, and I'm honored to speak to you tonight about
what the hell is she wearing?
That is so
what is
important
that?
To all of us, our faith. As Americans, we know the first line of the First Amendment protects our freedom of religion. But what we often forget, the actual words are free exercise of religion.
I know. I need to do the same thing.
That means living out our faith in our daily lives, in our schools, in our jobs, and yes, even in the public square. Our founders did not envision a quiet.
Why is she dressed like a Quaker?
They fought to ensure that the voices of faith were always welcomed.
She's dressed like a man Quaker.
Not bullied. But during the Obama-Biden administration, these freedoms were under attack.
Were they?
Democrats tried to make faith organizations pay for abortion-inducing drugs. Democrats tried to force adoption agencies to violate their deeply held beliefs. Democrats pressured schools
deeply held beliefs
to allow
what?
boys to compete in girls' sports and use girls' locker rooms. Those are the facts.
Transgender individuals?
We, the people, elected Donald Trump. People of faith suddenly had a fierce advocate in the White House. He appointed judges.
He doesn't give a goddamn about your faith.
He supported religious beliefs in court. He ensured religious
we were not made to be a
forced
religious
to
nation.
He withdrew the policies that placed our little girls at risk. And on the world stage, President Trump became the first president to talk about the importance of religious freedom at the United Nations, giving hope to But you know what truly is essential?
Don't forget the liquor stores too. They were declared essential too.
Every aspect of life. The Biden-Harris vision for America.
Right. His son sure did resign today. Surely did.
Whether you're a florist or a football coach, they will force the choice between being obedient to God or to Caesar, because the radical left's God is government power. So in the words of my grandfather,
but didn't he use government power
stand for political
all the
freedom,
time?
Moral freedom, religious freedom.
He doesn't have any morals.
And let's never give in to
you are fake news
to take it from us. Tonight, I'm proudly standing in that public square.
Will you stand
and I
alone?
hope and pray you will join me in voting to re-elect President Trump.
Come on, man.
No thanks.
I am Paul Sullivan, mayor of Ebla, a small town in the Iron Range of Minnesota. My father and grandfather earned their livings mining the raw materials that made the steel that built America. This election is a make or break for workers who are carrying on the legacy of men like them. Since the Iron Range economy is vulnerable to economic trends and to foreign trade, we have always needed a strong voice in Washington. We looked to Democrats to fill that void for many years because we actually thought they cared about our welfare. Not anymore. The radical environmental movement has dragged the
this
Democratic
radical
Party
language
so
is so crazy.
They can no longer claim to be advocates.
It's the same person that has the military going into cities for peaceful protesters or protesters nonetheless.
Parties allowed our country to be ripped off by our trading partners, especially China, who dump steel into our markets, slap tariffs on our products.
But he still does deals with China as long as they benefit him and his family. Don't y'all understand that?
Has been devastating. We lost thousands of jobs. We lost a generation of young people who had to leave the
You're still losing jobs, dummy.
And worst of all, we lost hope. Then something unexpected happened. A a straight-talking New Yorker burst onto the scene, promising to stand up to China and the rest of the world.
He ain't never
on
lied
behalf
about
of
that.
the
Street
American
talker.
worker. 4 years later,
Bullshitter.
the Iron Range is rolling back to life, and we have one man to thank, President Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He made good on his promises by
Is
cutting
he?
our taxes,
Did he?
rolling back senseless regulations, and delivering trade deals that put America's interests first.
Who's roaring from
fight
those
is not over.
taxes?
Joe Biden has allowed radicals like AOC to craft his
She's not even
policy.
running.
Their so-called Green New Deal is a job-killing disgrace dreamt up by people who don't live in the real world. But Biden is too weak, too scared.
First of all, she used to be a waitress. She lives in the real world more than he does, I'm sure.
47 years. Why would year 48 be?
Because you'd be in jail.
President Trump won't back down to anybody. He delivered the best economy in our history, and he will do it again.
He was given
for
the
all
best
of us.
economy
The
in
Iron Range's
history.
economic future
You are fake
survival
news.
is at stake, and so is America's. We know we can count on President Trump to fight for us and win. Let's
Okay.
make sure he wins on November 3rd.
We will.
God bless
He
America.
will win
Because you'd be in jail.
because he's going to jail. That's where he's going to win a nice, comfy seat.
My name is Abby Johnson, and I spent 8 years.
Oh,
working
Abby
for
Johnson
Planned
looks
Parenthood,
dead.
but
She's got
today,
wrong
I'm
makeup
a pro-life
on.
activist. When I was in college, Planned
She
Parenthood
looks
approached
dead.
me at a volunteer
Who did her
fair.
makeup?
They talked
Her
about
neck
helping
don't
women
match
in
the rest of her
crisis
face.
and their commitment to keep abortion safe, legal, and rare. I was convinced to volunteer and later offered a full-time job as a medical assistant before my promotion to director of the clinic. I truly believed I was helping women, but things drastically changed in 2009. In April, I was awarded Planned Parenthood's Employee of the Year Award and invited to their annual gala where they present the Margaret Sanger Award, named for their founder. And Margaret Sanger was a racist who believed in eugenics. Her goal when founding Planned Parenthood was to eradicate the minority population. Today, almost 80% of Planned Parenthood abortion facilities are strategically located in minority neighborhoods. And every year, Planned Parenthood celebrates its racist roots by presenting the Margaret Sanger Award. Later in August, my supervisor
They still believe in
assigned me a
eugenics. That's
new
why
quota
they're
to
pushing
meet
for
an abortion
the
quota.
Roe versus
I was
Wade
expected to sell
because they want to
double
make
the
sure the white
abortions
race is
performed
still
the previous
prominent.
year. When I pushed back, underscoring Planned Parenthood's public-facing goal of
Trust and believe. He's
decreasing
about it
abortions, I
too.
was reprimanded and told abortion is how we make our money. But the tipping point came a month later when a physician asked me to assist with an ultrasound-guided abortion. Nothing prepared me for what I saw on the screen. An unborn baby fighting back, desperate to move away from the suction. And I'll never forget what the doctor said next. "Beam me up, Scotty." The last thing I saw was a spine twirling around in the mother's womb before succumbing to the force of the suction. On October 6th, I left the clinic, looking back only to remember why I now advocate so passionately for life. I founded and currently run And Then There Were None.
Apparently,
a
she's
nonprofit
very
organization
passionate about
that's helped
food
nearly
too. In her
600
face.
abortion workers transition out of the industry. For
Great.
most people who consider themselves pro-life, abortion is abstract. They can't even conceive of the barbarity.
Well, it's
They
still a
don't know
choice.
about the products of conception room and abortion clinics,
still a
where
choice
infant
by a
corpses
woman.
are pieced back
And you're not
together
even
to
actually
ensure
giving the woman a
nothing
choice.
remains in the mother's wombs, or that we joked and called it the pieces of children room. See, for me, abortion is real. I know what it sounds like. I know what abortion smells like. Did you know abortion even had a smell? I've been the perpetrator to these babies, to these women. And I now support President Trump because he has done more for the unborn than any other president. During his first month in office, he banned federal funds for global health groups that promote abortion. That same year, he overturned an Obama-Biden.
Why don't we ask the women that he slept with how many abortions they had, since he liked to have sex with Stormy Daniels and other women with no condom?
He announced a new rule protecting the rights of healthcare workers objecting to abortion, many of whom I work with every day.
Is it?
Life is a core tenet of who we are as Americans. And this election is a choice between two radical anti-life activists and the most pro-life president we have ever had. That's something that should compel you to action.
Yeah, but what are we saying to the women that have been raped? We telling them they have to keep a child that they may not want? Come on, please.
That reelects our president, and do it with our very most vulnerable Americans in mind, the ones who haven't been born yet.
Oh, okay.
It began as a class trip to join thousands for the annual March for Life. These Catholic young men traveled from Kentucky to stand up for what they believed in. But what happened was something very different.
Crackers would make America great again. You little dirty crackers, your day coming, young Klansmen. Look at make America great again.
Social media, the news, and even celebrities launched a campaign of persecution that was completely false against a boy in a Make America Great Again hat.
It wasn't against him. He flew sit there and smirked in front of people.
Everyone that sees that smug look wants to punch that kid.
Nicholas Sandman received death threats, and his school was forced to close. Tonight, Nicholas tells his story.
Oh, poor white kid.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nick Sandman, and I'm the teenager who was defamed by the media after an encounter with a group of protesters on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial last year.
Sir, please.
Before I begin, I'd like to thank President Trump for the opportunity to share some of my story and why it matters so much to this November's election. In 2019, I attended the March for Life in Washington, D.C., where I demonstrated in defense of the unborn.
You didn't get them braces for them teeth,
I bought a Make America Great Again hat because our president, Donald Trump, has distinguished himself as one of the most pro-life presidents in the history of our country. And I wanted to express my support for him too. Looking back now, how could I possibly imagine that the simple act of putting on that red hat would unleash hate from the left and make myself the target of network?
No, that wasn't the reason why people hated you, sir. It was your smirk as you looked at that man doing his peaceful drumming in your face. You looked at him as less than you. That's what you got the hatred for, not because you showed up there.
Looking to turn me into the latest poster child, showing why.
Tell the truth.
While the media portrayed me as an aggressor with a relentless smirk on my face, in reality, the video confirms I was standing with my hands behind my back,
with a smirk on your face.
On my face that hid two thoughts. One, don't do anything that might further agitate the man banging a drum in my face.
A hand drum in your face?
I was trying to follow a family friend's advice. Never to do anything to embarrass your family, your school, or your community.
Well, that's funny. You should have been standing back there with your friends, but you got into that man's face because you felt that you had the power to do so.
We got him.
Come on, get out of here.
It's all right here on video. And we won, Grandpa. What I thought was a strange encounter quickly developed into a major news story, complete with video footage.
Yep.
My life changed forever in that one
you
moment.
Smirking in that man's face as if you knew he was beneath you.
Attack mode. They did so without researching the full video of the incident.
No need to. You could see the friends in the back laughing and joking like it was a joke. It was funny.
Without ever asking me for my side of the story.
We don't need your side. You made your side very clear.
Because the truth was not important. Advancing their anti-Christian, anti-conservative,
wrong,
anti-Donald Trump,
anti-Christian now. Oh, now we're anti-Christian.
Their narrative ruined the reputation and future of a teenager from Covington, Kentucky.
Right.
Well, so be it. That would teach him not to wear a MAGA hat. I learned what was happening to me had a name. It was called being canceled. As in annulled, as in revoked, as in made void. Canceled is what's happening to
we don't want to cancel white folks.
Refuse to be silenced by the far left.
Yeah, we don't want to cancel white folks.
Being fired,
humiliated, Jesus. No,
or even threatened.
Well, we don't want white people to feel that.
The media is a willing participant, but I would not be canceled. I fought back hard to expose the media.
Did you know what that feels like? Well, welcome to the rest of us who get to feel that way.
I look forward to the day that the media returns to providing balanced, responsible, and accountable news coverage.
You mean more news coverage that makes you look different, right?
And I know you'll agree with me when we say that no one in this country has been a victim of unfair media coverage more than President Donald Trump. In November, I believe this country
You're allowed.
A president who calls the media out and refuses to allow them to create a narrative instead of reporting the facts. I believe we must turn the president who has challenged the media to return to objective journalism. And together, I believe we must all embrace our First Amendment rights and not hide in fear of the media or from the
What? You mean the First Amendment rights that he's trying to shelter people from using when they talk about him or tell the truth on him? Get the hell out of here.
Because you'd be in jail.
Thank you all for listening to me tonight. And one more.
You are fake news.
Let's make America great again.
You didn't have 4 years to make it great already? Then you like, why would you get more to make it? I mean, that's what the 4 years was for you to make America great again. You had 4 years to do it. It's still not great. Move on.
I'm Pam Bondi. Our party's theme tonight is America,
another white woman.
Land of opportunity. And listening to the stories of discoveries and deliverance, you can't help but be proud to call this country home.
I am.
But for Joe Biden, it's been a land of opportunism, not opportunity.
Oh, really?
As a career prosecutor and former Attorney General of Florida, I fought corruption.
Did you?
And I know what it looks like.
Do you?
Whether it's done by people wearing pinstripe suits or orange jumpsuits. At the Democrats' convention, we were told to look at Joe Biden as the model of integrity.
Were you?
But when you look at his 47-year career in politics, the people who benefited are his family members, not the American people.
We got nerve to talk? Hold on.
Come on, man. Joe's son, Hunter Biden, a corrupt Ukrainian oligarch, put Hunter on the board of his gas company, even though he had no experience in Ukraine or in the energy sector. None.
Okay, and his daughter is an advisor in the White House with no security clearance. The son-in-law can't even get security clearance, but he gave it to him anyway, against everybody's better judgment.
After Hunter Biden joined that corrupt company's board, the Obama-Biden State Department
Come on, they are ridiculous with the...
even when it remained under investigation for corruption.
Oh, how about Russia? How about Russia and helping them in 2016?
Was being investigated by a Ukrainian prosecutor. Joe Biden, the vice president of the United States,
the
threatened to withhold
prosecutor was corrupt.
To Ukraine, unless that same prosecutor
the prosecutor was
fired.
Involved in corruption with Russia. That's why he got fired.
Hunter only resigned from that board just before his dad announced his campaign for president.
No, that's not
Now
true.
let's talk about China. Fact. Joe Biden flew to China on Air Force Two with Hunter along for the ride. They said he was just there as a family member, but we know that's untrue.
Nope,
In
that's not
Beijing,
true either.
Hunter didn't just go sightseeing. He had meetings with his Chinese bank partners. Hunter even arranged for his dad to meet with one of the partners.
And
10 days
Ivanka
later,
got trading deals from
Chinese
China
Congress
while they were
bankers
at Mar-a-Lago. So what are you saying, lady?
to go to Hunter's firm. And those bankers work for the Chinese Communist Party,
Oh my
which oppresses their
gosh.
people,
And there's a
cheated American workers for decades, and covered up a deadly virus.
this is the same China that he has such a great
Hunter
relationship
controls
with,
a
right? Yeah,
10%
okay. I'll wait.
stake in that firm. And Joe Biden's done more than look the other way on China. He said, the Chinese aren't our competition. Come on, man. You're not bad folks. Come on, Joe. Talk to the folks in Middle America who lost countless jobs to China while your son was getting rich with them. But there's more. Fact. There have been numerous press reports that have shown other close Biden family members benefited from Joe's 47-year political career. Joe Biden was point person on Iraq. President of a construction firm, met with Biden's team in the White House, and then who did they hire to build thousands of houses in Iraq? Joe Biden's close family member, who, you guessed it, had no experience in the industry and no experience in Iraq. A company official bragged.
She is really reaching. She definitely is reaching hard.
The family member put it more bluntly.
Because this is what the exact. If you guys look at that for Joe Biden and say that he's using the family and enriching the family, so is Trump. So there's nothing you could say about that.
Yet another close family member of Joe's set his sights on Costa Rica and Jamaica, where millions of dollars flowed from the Obama-Biden administration in taxpayer-backed loans to projects linked to, yes, that same family member. These aren't isolated incidents. It is a deliberate pattern of conduct.
Oh, is it?
And that's just what he did as vice president. Imagine what he'd do as president.
The same thing the president is doing right now.
Would be allowed to get away with this.
The American family that's getting away with it right now.
Political class and another set of rules for the rest of us.
That's the way it is right now.
Voted for
Are you serious, lady?
They knew he'd be different, and he is. He's a tough, no-nonsense outsider who can't be bought or intimidated. He won't even take a paycheck from the American people. He donates his paycheck to charities across this country.
You know why? Because he's actually charging the Secret Service for rooms when they stay at Trump hotels. So we give him the money back. That's why I'm giving. That's like what pastors do when they put their whole paycheck in the collection plate, excuse me, and then they go back and they get their money back. So what are you talking about?
Our president
He's getting the money back.
To build a safer, better, and
sorry, he charges the Secret Service 2-3 times the amount for rooms every time they move him to a Trump facility. So you might want to check your lies. Check your.
You are fake news.
Thank you. Check it.
Remember, the best is yet to come.
It is when we unelect this president.
You are fake news.
Thank you. Next. Who said that? The day will come when we recognize women. You mean the same man who calls women nasty? Okay. Oh, I'm done. I give up.
You've got 70, 80 years on this earth. What are you gonna do?
Come on, man.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Are you serious?
In our country
I can't.
It's what I feel very much called to do ever since
He's always calling women nasty and disgusting.
In 2016, Donald Trump made his historic run for the office of United States President. Knowing the monumental task he would be undertaking, he rested all of his hopes for winning on one woman. Because of that trust, he became the 45th President of the United States. And Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah, show that picture of Kellyanne Conway with her nasty feet on the sofa while all them black college presidents, men and women, was standing around the president, and she was sitting there on the couch like some old drunk, wasteful woman.
I want the job.
You got the job because you're freaking his son. That's why you got the job.
And he respects that.
No, he doesn't.
Appreciates hard work.
No.
You can't ask for anything.
You ain't do shit, but you get paid a hell of a lot
President Trump
to do nothing.
To place strong women into significant positions throughout his administration and campaign, far more than any other president in U.S. history.
Right, she did look every bit of thirsty.
More women on his top team
than any president before.
But look at the women, though. Look at the women. You gotta look a certain way in order to be a part.
Awesome teams throughout the West Wing.
Something that he can look at.
I want you to represent my entire campaign. I became the first Black woman to represent a Republican.
Oh, you Black now? Get out of here. She's Black?
Presidential campaign in United States history.
She's Black now. Oh, get the hell out of here. When they asked her before if she was Black, she never said it. She never. Roland Martin asked her himself if she was Black, and she would not answer his question. So now she's Black. Get the hell out of here. I'm over it.
Kayleigh McEnany, who transitioned into the job while also transitioning into the job of mom.
I'm
I have 4
over
children.
it.
Conway has 4 children. Ivanka has. I think between all the senior staff women, we might have 75 kids. I'm not sure. We've lost count, but the importance of the work is never lost on any of us. And truly, it is those children that we are fighting for and for their future.
Well, if you were fighting for their future, honey, you wouldn't be doing that.
Powerful influence and authority. President Trump has proven that when the
Trump,
stakes are highest,
Trump.
he is proud to entrust many of our nation's most
If they're not a Trump, they're dating a Trump. Don't let it fool you.
Dedicated, amazing,
And make sure they're extra pretty so he has something to look at, even though Kellyanne Conway looks like the Crypt Keeper. So I don't know where that came from, but
greatest things I'll ever be a part of.
well, enjoy it while you can.
Only the president would say, let's take that stay-home mom and have her run the party. What a smart guy.
No, only the president would say, hey, make sure a woman is running the RNC so we can look like we're inclusive.
Good evening. I'm Tiffany Trump.
Oh.
Since speaking at the Republican convention 4 years ago,
The same one
so much has
who
changed
wouldn't
for
hold
the world,
and kiss her
for our
father.
country, and for my family.
What's wrong with her
Like so
mouth?
many students across the world,
Did she get new
I graduated
teeth?
from law school
So
during
she
the
can't
pandemic.
call her mouth?
Our generation is
So
unified, in facing the future in uncertain times.
Yeah, she's not accustomed
And
to her
many
new
of us are
teeth, y'all.
considering what kind of country we want to live in.
She's got new
As a
teeth.
recent graduate, I can relate to so many of you who might be looking for a job.
Oh,
My father
your
built a
father?
thriving economy
Did he?
once,
Oh my
and believe me,
God.
he will do it again.
Oh, yes, she
This
will.
election, I urge each and every one of you to transcend political boundaries.
Oh.
This is a fight
Is it?
for freedom
Is
versus
it?
oppression,
For
for
suppression.
opportunity versus stagnation, a
Oh.
fight to keep America true to America.
Is that true?
I urge you to
Okay.
make judgment based
Judgment.
on results
Okay.
and not rhetoric.
So why didn't you kiss and hug your father back when he hugged you when he was elected? Why was you so standoffish, Tiffany?
A chance at a life once again.
Oh,
And
get out of
if you
here.
believe in expanding quality
Uh-huh.
and affordable
Uh-huh.
healthcare,
Okay.
only President Trump,
Only?
my father,
Really?
signed the right to try into law, the favored nations clause,
Oh.
and other actions to
Uh-huh.
lower drug prices.
Yeah, as he's trying to take away
Americans
pre-existing
from getting rich
conditions
off.
from those same people, right? Great.
Must recognize that our thoughts,
Mhm.
our opinions,
Mhm.
and even the choice of who we are voting for
Uh-huh.
may and are being manipulated
Uh-huh.
and visibly coerced by
Yeah.
the media
Are
and
there?
tech giants.
The media. Tech giants. You mean the same tech giant he uses, like Twitter, to insult people?
If it does not fit into the narrative that they
Uh-huh.
seek to promote,
Uh-huh.
then it is either ignored or deemed a lie.
Because it is a
regardless of the
lie.
truth.
Because it is a lie.
Manipulation of what information we receive impedes our freedoms.
Come
Rather
on.
than allowing Americans the right to form our
Uh-huh.
own beliefs,
Oh.
this misinformation system
Gosh.
keeps people mentally enslaved to
Oh.
the ideas they deem correct.
Oh.
This has fostered unnecessary fear and
Oh.
divisiveness amongst us.
Oh, does it?
Why are so many in media
Uh-huh.
and technology
Mhm.
and even in our own
He must have
government
increased her allowance because she's doing pretty good. He must have increased her allowance because
Ask yourself,
she wasn't getting much.
are we prevented from seeing certain information? Why is
Oh.
one viewpoint promoted
Oh.
while others are hidden?
Because before she wasn't having
It's
it.
control. Because
Oh.
division and controversy,
Which he's
breed a
doing.
profit.
Yeah, because that's what
But the
he's doing.
consequences when only one side of the story gets out,
Well-
or when only one viewpoint is acceptable.
This speech would go to your
For
father,
our
not to the
education
rest of the
system,
people.
amid sacrificing civil debate by creating an atmosphere
Mhm.
where students with contrary opinions
Uh-huh.
are too afraid to speak
Are they?
Many students find themselves suppressing their beliefs
do
to fit
they?
into what the acceptable group think
Oh
is.
my God.
In short,
Uh-huh.
our nation suffers by
Does it?
inhibiting our diversity of thought
Oh.
and inclusion of ideas.
Okay.
Working together.
She needs to get her
outside
teeth
of our
redone. Them
political
things are
comfort
too big
zones
for her
will
mouth.
accomplish so much more. Some cynical politicians
Uh-huh.
do not seem to believe in the miracle of America.
Oh.
Well, I do.
Oh, do
As
you?
Maximo Alvarez said so eloquently last night,
Ooh.
if freedom is lost in this country, there is nowhere else to go.
Oh no, it's nowhere
Having
else to
hope
go.
is not weakness.
Oh no.
And believing in miracles
He
is a
hopes?
gift
What is
from
he
God.
hoping?
So tonight, I want to
Uh-huh.
tell you the uncensored truth of what we
Oh,
believe in.
okay.
We believe in equality of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We
You.
believe in freedom of thought and expression.
Who's we?
Think what you want. Seek out the truth. Learn from those with different opinions.
We
and then
do.
freely make your voice heard to the
We
world.
are.
We believe in school choice because a child's zip code in America should not determine their future.
Yeah, it does when you only do lotteries, so only certain children get into those private schools, and then you use them as
Founded
tokens.
on ideas, not identity. A country where our differences are embraced, and the only country where the
No,
word
I don't want your
dream has been
racism
attached
to
to
be
it.
expressed
Because
and
in
embraced.
America,
Your
your
racism
life
needs
is
not to be
yours to chart.
embraced.
So,
Sorry.
if you're hearing these things
Uh-huh.
and thinking to yourself,
Uh-huh.
that is the kind of country that I want to live in.
Then move to what do you Greenland? Or yeah, move to Greenland.
Beyond the facade that so many other politicians employ.
Oh.
They mask themselves in
Do
disguises
they?
of decency. As
Oh
they
my
try to
God,
pressure us
Tiffany.
to mask our own identities and beliefs.
Oh,
My
your
father
bell
is
bottoms
the
look
only person
awesome.
to challenge the establishment.
You're very much giving us
democracy,
Charlie's Angels.
pharma, and media monopolies
Yes.
to ensure that Americans' constitutional freedoms are upheld and that justice and truth
Go
prevail.
ahead, girl. Yeah, she can't close her mouth. Them teeth too damn big. Oh,
Even in the face
I
of
know.
outright hatred.
Is it?
Because fighting for America
Uh-huh.
is something he will sacrifice.
Sacrifice? He do what? Say it again, girl. Sacrifice? Say it again. Sacrifice? Sacrifice?
Make America great again
Uh-huh.
is not a slogan for my father.
It's not?
It is what drives him to keep his promise of doing what is right
sacrifice.
for American citizens. The energy of change
Oh my
and
God.
opportunity is
This
with
thing is
us.
crazy.
God has blessed us with unstoppable spirit.
Is
His
it?
spirit.
Really?
The American spirit.
Oh.
My dad has proven to be driven by that spirit.
Oh.
He has demonstrated his faith.
Has
his
he?
uncompromising heart.
He has
and
faith?
actions.
Really?
My father has made me believe that
Tell him read a
America
scripture.
can truly be
Tell him
great
just pull
again.
out the Bible. Not even pull out the Bible. Just read a scripture off the top of his head.
Without restraints.
Just go
and
ahead.
rebelling against those who would suppress your voice and building your
Who? You mean him? So that's why he has like
Trump's
secret police rounding people up in Portland.
Donald J. Trump
Uh-huh.
is a vote to uphold our American ideals.
Oh.
Be true to yourself.
Oh.
And stay true to the dream of America.
We are. That's why we're voting
God
against
bless you all.
your father. Thank you. I feel so spirited.
I'm Kim Reynolds, governor of the great state of Iowa. I love this state, and I'm so proud to serve its people. Iowa truly is a land of
Yes.
opportunity.
You know why he
It's the
likes all
birthplace of
these
the
women? Look at all these
landmark
little
of the
pretty women he
financial
has just flaunting in front of
and
us.
it's so unique.
Yeah, that's what
It's
he wants
filled
to
with
do to
farmland
him.
that
Even his
feeds and
daughter.
fuels the world.
We all know he's
It's
nasty.
also home to people who care for one another,
Grab him by the
work
pussy.
hard, who love
Disgusting.
this country,
I'm
and are
over it.
truly grateful for the freedoms it provides. As I like to say, Iowa is one big small town.
Come on,
Being a
man.
helping neighbor is in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
From the sick farmer who can't harvest his crops
Oh.
to the single mom who loses her job and is struggling to get back on her feet.
Well, there's
town,
no
the community
nowhere for them to
But what
do
happens
child
when a
care
storm rips
because,
through
of course,
almost
the president's
entire
getting rid of it.
state? When it's not one farmer who lost his crop, but hundreds.
Yeah.
When it's
Well, if it's not a
one neighbor
Republican
who was
state that
without
voted for him, he doesn't
thousands.
care. I don't
That
understand why
happened
we're
just
not
2
getting
weeks
that.
ago. A storm called a derecho with
Yeah.
hurricane force winds
Yeah.
of up to 140 miles per hour.
Yep.
Wiped out millions of acres of crops.
It sure did.
Left thousands without power.
It sure
It
did.
destroyed homes.
It
wrecked
did.
lives.
It
And
did.
left devastation in
It
its wake.
did. You're
It
absolutely
was the
right about
worst
that.
storm in our state's history.
I don't know about
And
that.
Iowans did what you expect Iowans to do.
I
They helped
wouldn't.
each
I'm not
other.
an Iowan.
They took care of each other.
Oh.
And they still are.
Oh.
But someone else had our back.
Who's
Our
that?
president.
Oh,
When
did
the
he?
winds had finished raging and the cleanup had only begun,
Uh-huh.
he showed up.
Oh.
Now, you might not know that because the national media didn't report
Well,
it.
no, my question
The
is,
Trump administration
did he
was
win
here
Iowa in
full force.
2016? Because
The
if he
day after
did, then
the
that's the
storm,
reason why he
the
showed
president
up.
called to assure me that we had the full backing of the federal government.
Of course, because you
And
voted
later
for
that
him in
week, Vice
2016.
President Pence came to Iowa to again assure us that the president and his administration
Of course.
were behind us.
Of course.
With the help of the Trump administration, we quickly received
Oh.
a major disaster declaration.
Oh, tell that to the
that will
people of
help
Puerto
Iowans
Rico
get back on
who's
their
still
feet.
trying to get
The
through
president, he
the
cut through
last
the
hurricane
bureaucracy
and another
to do
one's
what
at their
needed to be
doorstep.
done, and to do it quickly. But that's not the first time President
Uh-huh.
Trump showed Iowans that we can rely on him.
Uh-huh.
In 2019,
Where's
when
your lips,
100-year
girl? They're very
floods
thin.
breached nearly every
Uh.
levee and devastated communities large and small along the Missouri River in
Yeah,
Iowa,
it really is
Nebraska,
bothering.
and
Like,
Missouri.
that top
The
lip is like
president
nothing
approved
either.
our request for aid in record time
Oh.
in just 2 days. Well, this year
Oh.
he did it in less than 24 hours.
Oh, yeah, he's trying to get that
So
vote,
whether
girl.
it's providing needed relief to farmers who were the
Mhm.
target of China's unfair trade practices, hammering out new free and fair trade deals, or fighting for workers and small businesses.
No,
who
because
were
he wanted to
hit
go back
hard
and forth with
by
the trade deals with
COVID-19.
China,
We have a
and
president
farmers
and a
started
vice
to lose their
president who get
businesses. So
things
he
done.
gave the
Because of President Trump
welfare
and his
to
leadership,
certain farmers,
our
not all of
country
them.
is able to bounce back from setbacks
Uh-huh.
and see opportunity grow and thrive.
Uh-huh.
This is an administration of action and outcomes.
Uh-huh.
They are delivering every day on their promise to make America great again. And that's exactly why we need to re-elect President Donald J. Trump.
Because you'd be in jail.
Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Mm.
America,
Yes, white Jesus.
the land of opportunity,
Oh, white Jesus.
a country where your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other.
Yes, white Jesus.
Abraham Lincoln's words
Oh.
from 165 years ago
Oh, goodness.
still resonate today
Do they?
because of who we are.
Who are we? Hey, Bench Think, how you doing?
We're a boy born into poverty in a log cabin,
Oh,
raised right here on the frontier of Indiana.
who's possibly,
Educate himself,
allegedly,
become a lawyer, become
historically
president of the United
known
States,
to be
preserve
partially
the
black.
abolish
But,
slavery,
you know, that's a story for
and
another
save the
time.
nation. As a fellow Hoosier, visiting Lincoln's boyhood home has always been a treasured experience for me and my family. It's a place
Because you'd be in jail.
It shaped Lincoln and defined the man that Lincoln would become.
Wrong.
America is the land of opportunity.
Oh, is
As
it?
President Donald Trump declared at Mount Rushmore, in America you can do anything.
Oh,
You can be
yeah,
anything.
you sure can. You could steal your way to the top.
You can achieve anything.
You could rob your way to the top.
Because you'd be in jail.
Promise of American liberty.
That's
Every
right.
day, our president's been fighting to expand the reach of the American dream.
Wrong.
And on every single day, without fail,
Grab him by the pussy.
That's what he does every single day. Of
So
course.
tonight, I'd like to introduce you to a few remarkable Americans
Go ahead.
who represent that solemn pledge,
Oh, who?
who embody our president's unbreakable devotion to ensuring that America is a land of unlimited
He looked like
opportunity
he's been
for
through some like shock treatments or
all.
something.
Jack is an 8-year-old from Wisconsin.
Hey,
who's
Jack.
struggling academically and socially.
Aw.
Jack's mom, Sarah, who works
Hey,
3
Sarah.
jobs to support her son.
3
Applied
jobs.
for Wisconsin's school choice voucher program.
Oh, did he win the lottery?
Able to get the school choice voucher
Oh
to
my
go to
gosh.
school. With Jack
he would have slipped through the cracks in public schools, and having the option to go to a school that fits him.
Slip through the cracks. What cracks are
Real
those?
game changer for us, and I know that
Because they get to live in different neighborhoods than us, so
he's
I
going
wonder.
to succeed, and he's going to achieve that goal of being an apparatus engineer, if that's what he chooses to stick with.
Oh.
Laura McLinn is a mother of another inspiring boy.
Oh.
Jordan has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a fatal muscle weakening disorder. Jordan was at my side in Indiana when, as governor, I signed a law allowing terminally ill patients to access experimental drugs not yet approved by the FDA. In 2018, President Trump signed the landmark federal.
But if they die, then what protections do they have?
Thanks to the president's leadership, critically ill patients have the right to access life-saving experimental treatments.
We started fighting for right to try, which basically says if you have a terminal illness and there's a drug that exists, you don't qualify for the clinical trial, there's no other way to receive it. This is a unique pathway that allows you to have access.
Yeah, I mean, you're sitting up here banking on the pain of families. Like,
we're so grateful that you joined us on this journey and stuck it out until it became law so that other people could access treatments.
So, Jordan, if President Trump was standing right there, what would you say to him today about right to try?
Thank you for being a hero to everybody in the country.
Judge Cheryl Allen made history in 2007 when she became the first African-American woman to be elected to serve on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. It's because of leaders like Judge Allen that our nation has
Christian fellowship.
Greatest challenges.
And of course, she had to be near a slave cabin. Gee.
Do you see faith?
Come on, y'all. We've come so far from slavery to look at her now. Just for pennies a day, America, this is what could happen to you.
I'll leave it at that. I know what racism feels like.
Do you?
But I also
You
know
clearly can't know what racism feels like if you're sitting right next to it.
in this country, I would have never been able to achieve the things that I have been able to achieve.
Really?
There are injustices, but
That's what you're made to think.
injustices is for people to sit down across the table
Oh.
and talk and come up with solutions.
Well, you tell that to the people that they done killed. Oh, well, you tell that.
2016, I have to confess that I really did not know candidate Trump at the time, but I have to say that he really won me over.
Oh, did he?
Gino's a truck driver from Ohio.
Truck driver.
Who heard politicians for years make empty promises about defending American
Oh,
jobs.
look at that
only
face.
to see those promises broken.
Go up in smoke.
Again and again.
And they
in
still are.
2019, when General Motors closed its plant in Lordstown, Ohio, President Donald
Oh, wait, did you
Trump
say
refused to
2019?
stand by and watch it
2019.
happen.
Okay.
And as Gino observed,
They're still closing the plant, though.
to find a way to
They're
bring
still
jobs
closing the
back to
plant.
Lordstown. And plans were soon set into motion to create Lordstown Motors.
President Trump said,
Still
"This is
closing
how
the
we fix
plant.
it." And I thought, well, that's a simple
That's a lie.
solution. There's no other president who could have done it. There's no other president who could try to do it. President Trump's a doer. He appreciates every one of us, and I know he does. I've seen it. When he said "Make America Great Again," that was his task. That wasn't his slogan.
Oh, no,
his
that was a
task.
slogan.
And every hat you see that says MAGA on it, that's what your president's doing for you. Thank you, Mr. President, for keeping the promises that you made.
He's making
And then there's
America
Pastor
what?
Aaron Johnson.
Oh.
Today, he's the executive director of the Tulsa Dream Center, a
Oh.
nonprofit that provides education, medical services, and food to those in need.
Does it?
AJ, you've got a great personal story.
Oh.
When you see the way this president, this administration have been leaning in to create opportunities.
Here's the token.
Investments in communities around the country to create jobs, expanding educational choice. What does that mean to the families that you serve every day?
It means so much to our families. I did grow up in a single parent home. So
Oh.
we serve over 600 boys and girls right now on a daily basis, even in COVID. And so for us to give these moms to have an opportunity to take more money on their check, on their paycheck, home back to them. To
Yeah.
have their children.
Tell them they got to pay it back later, though, so don't get too comfortable with the extra little money that you're getting for your payroll tax. Because when you pay your taxes, we're going to want that money back.
Really been able to see such a positive
I ain't telling you that, though.
especially throughout this time.
Lydia left hearth and home, friends and family in Honduras to
Oh.
pursue a better life here in America.
Oh.
While raising their 4 daughters, Lydia and her husband run a small business that creates security systems. But just months after their business was up and running, our nation was struck by a global pandemic. That's when President Donald Trump stepped in.
Oh, how long ago did President Donald Trump know about this pandemic, guys?
Her small business
Like
stayed in
last
business,
year?
and her American dream kept running strong. What did the Paycheck Protection Program mean to your company as the coronavirus struck?
It was a huge, tremendous help.
Oh, was it?
And so we applied, we were accepted really quickly. We're so grateful.
Mhm.
We can't believe how much relief we had.
Did he send your parents back to Honduras, by the way? Just curious.
We want to all continue to move forward. So we were able to make it.
Yeah.
Because of the
Thank you,
support.
Brother Nate. November, right? Was
Family
it?
and friends.
Yeah. They really make it seem like he just found out about it. He took swift action. He knew about it since November. Yeah.
Here in the U.S.
He didn't start doing something till March. Let that sink in, people.
Here at Abraham Lincoln's boyhood home,
Oh.
a young man would grow up to become the first Republican president of the United States. And today, another Republican president is fighting to preserve that same noble legacy of freedom. And President Donald Trump will make certain that the torch of American opportunity illuminates every city, every town, and every community in this blessed land.
Hi, I'm Ryan Holitz.
Hey,
I'm a
Ryan.
police officer from New Mexico.
Oh, police officer.
In 2017, I had an encounter that changed my life forever. I had just started my shift and responded to a call for service at a gas station. When I arrived, I saw a man and a woman sitting on a grassy slope. I recognized the telltale signs, a needle, a spoon. I knew immediately that they were preparing to inject themselves with heroin.
Oh.
Sadly, this is a common sight for me. I
Is it?
encounter the ravages of addiction every day.
Oh.
But nothing could prepare me for what I discovered as I approached them.
Oh, what was that?
The woman was very pregnant. In my shock,
Oh my God.
I asked her if she knew that she was harming her baby by doing drugs.
Get out.
She crumbled and burst into tears.
Oh.
2 worlds collided as I knelt down beside her. A police officer
Uh-huh.
and a homeless drug addict, brought together by forces outside of our control.
Oh.
As we talked,
Oh, they brought out the Miracle
humanity,
Whip tonight. The Miracle Whip is heavy.
was made abundantly clear. Her name was Crystal, and in the midst of her suffering,
What's her last name, Beth?
that she loved.
Give it up for Crystal.
She wanted the best for her child. In that moment, I saw her the way that all of you who know, love, and addict see them.
Because James, I do my show on
mothers,
Tuesdays.
brothers,
So
sisters, children, cousins,
not
and friends.
obligated.
As
It's not
human
a
beings,
plaything, but
full
thanks.
of value and dignity,
I
but
appreciate it.
robbed of their potential by this disease. When Crystal said that she was looking for a family to adopt,
And I always do politics
God
over
showed me
here, so
exactly
it's not
what I had to do.
it's not a
Without
sometimey
hesitation,
thing.
I told her that my family,
But I have a show on Tuesdays that I do
today,
here, so
our beautiful daughter Hope is a
doing it
thriving
over here
2-year-old.
today.
Crystal is fast
Oh,
approaching 3
cool. No
years
problem.
of
No worries.
recovery.
I was just letting you know.
She's a dear friend and a constant inspiration to me and others. I hold a special place in my heart for those facing opioid addiction. And that's why I'm enormously grateful to the
Are you?
president for his leadership in fighting this deadly enemy. Through his efforts, we're turning the tide on the crisis of addiction.
Oh, are we?
President Trump
Surprise,
declared the opioid
surprise.
crisis to be a public health emergency,
Oh.
and then secured $6 billion in new federal funding to help Americans fight opioid abuse. He invested an additional $100 million.
Let's do it. Let's do a quick lesson class. Who does heroin and crystal meth? Not really. Not too many black people.
Reducing
Just
opioid
say that.
prescriptions by over a third within 3 years.
Oh.
This is an effort that stops addiction before it ever gains a hold in someone's life. And it's having an impact. Drug overdose deaths decreased in 2018
Oh, that's
for
great.
the first time in 30 years.
white
Many of the
deaths.
states hardest hit by the opioid crisis are seeing the largest drop in deaths. We're seeing
I thought he was going to say the states, because we're going to find out the states were
These are significant
large
improvements that have a
white populated states.
I think we are fortunate in America to have a president who cares deeply for the downtrodden and who works tirelessly to find solutions. A president who doesn't just talk about problems, but stops and helps.
Okay.
President Trump is the leader we've needed the last 4 years, and he is the leader we need for the next 4.
He's definitely a drug user.
Donald
You
Trump
can tell.
is the right
Meth and
president
cocaine.
at the right time. Let's make sure
That nose is very
he's
red.
on November 3rd.
Them nostrils look a
pray
little
God's
dark
blessings on
under
you and your
there.
family, and may God bless America.
All right. Who's next?
Good evening. My name is Jeanette Nunez,
Wow.
and I'm proud to serve as Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Florida.
All right.
Tonight, I'm honored to share my story
She looked crazy.
family,
Faith,
and American
family,
freedom.
and American freedom. Go ahead, girl.
As the daughter of Cuban immigrants,
Oh,
my story began
immigrants.
in 1959,
Yeah.
before I was born, when my parents' dreams of a prosperous life became a nightmare.
Have they sent your parents back yet?
Chaos spread quickly when Fidel Castro took control of Cuba.
Oh,
The government
Fidel.
confiscated private property,
Did he?
stealing people's
You mean the
homes,
same private property
farms,
that Donald Trump is stealing from people right now to continue building his border fence?
to flee communist Cuba came when the Castro regime abolished religious freedom. Fellow
And if you
Americans,
add baking
the fabric
soda.
of our nation is in peril. Daily, the radical left
Crazy.
systematically chisels away at the freedoms we cherish. They peddle dangerous ideologies, cower to global progressives, and normalize socialism
Her
to
eyes
dismantle
are
our
open.
Constitution.
Okay, she's
Let
woke.
me assure you, socialism doesn't offer opportunity.
It doesn't.
Socialism deprives.
Who's the socialist?
That
Who's the
thinks promises
socialist?
for its masses and consistently yields only misery.
Who's socialist?
President
Who's the
Ronald
socialist?
Reagan
I'm
warned,
confused.
if we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. Truer words
Oh,
have
thanks, no
never been
problem.
spoken.
But I mean,
Americans have a choice.
do
We
we?
can go down a dark road.
We've already
of
been down
chaos
that
and
road.
government control.
We've already been down that
Or
road,
we can
ma'am.
choose a path of freedom and opportunity.
We will.
That was paved by those who sacrificed everything to preserve the American dream
Who was
for
that?
future generations.
And who was that?
I have faith that Americans will choose the right path.
Yeah,
In
I do too.
2016, our country yearned for a leader who would work tirelessly to jumpstart our economy and fight for hardworking Americans. Since day one,
That bump woke her
Donald
up.
Trump
I think
has
so.
put
Her
America
eyes
first.
are open.
his
Them
pro-growth,
joints are like,
pro-jobs
"Woo."
agenda has ushered in historically low unemployment,
Oh.
record job creation, higher wages, and
Really?
rising homeownership.
Okay.
The president is fighting
Is
to
he?
rescue American jobs and industries
Oh.
for places like Ohio,
Oh.
Pennsylvania,
Oh.
and Puerto Rico.
Oh, really?
Jobs that were
You mean the
needless
place he
shipped
just said
overseas.
was dirty, and he
religious
wanted to trade
with Democratic allies
North
like
was it
Colombia, and showed
Iceland or
unwavering
Greenland
resolve
for Puerto Rico?
confronting tyrants
Really?
in countries like Venezuela,
Girl,
Cuba, China,
stop
and
it.
Nicaragua.
Stop it. You're
Let
going
us
too
join our
far.
president
You're going way
in
too
his
far.
vow that America
Way
will
too
never
far.
be a socialist country. Supporting our president requires action.
Who said it's well? If
Join
it's
me
not going to be a
tonight
socialist country, let's get rid of all the social programs that's already there, like Social Security and a whole lot of other social programs.
Commander-in-Chief, who has a bold agenda that
Does he?
safeguards the rights and freedoms protected under our Constitution.
What freedoms?
Today, more than ever,
'Cause he
that
doesn't
means
have any.
supporting our men and women in law enforcement and our heroes in uniform.
Right.
It means fighting to provide the best quality
I'll
education
wait.
by empowering parents and preserving school choice. And it means rejecting the socialist takeover of our nation that will destroy the innovation, to share my story, which is really your story.
Is it?
And the story of a nation that has opened its doors, lifted its people, and yielded success.
Lifted the people from where? Because if they were lifted, there wouldn't be almost 200,000 people dead
4 more years
from a virus he's known about since November.
So he can continue protecting our republic.
Cut the bullshit.
And so one day, our children can proudly tell the story of what our generation did to defend
You are fake news.
Of faith, family.
You are fake
and
news.
freedom.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
And may God bless the United States of America.
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Oh. Oh, God. Seriously? Oh, my goodness. Gracious alive. Oh, look. He's multicultural today, guys.
Acting Secretary Wolf, I present to you 5 candidates for naturalization representing 5 countries.
On behalf of everyone here today, I'd like to express
Lord
my
have mercy,
gratitude to
Jesus.
Mr. President for hosting this naturalization ceremony here at the White House. To our candidates, it is my honor to administer the oath of allegiance and welcome you as our fellow citizens. Candidates for naturalization, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare an oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince,
The same foreign prince of Russia that he...
of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen.
You can't make this shit up, I swear. What does he have on?
Constitution and laws
Oh, poor
of the
man.
United States of America.
Lord Jesus.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith.
I'm even surprised that the African man is there, as much as he says the shithole countries.
That I will bear arms on behalf of the United States.
Of course, he had to get an Indian person in there.
Required by law. That I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the U.S. When required
He is
by
really just standing there. He don't even know what the hell is going on, nor does he care.
of national importance.
Yes, this is definitely an SNL skit.
When required by law. And that I take this obligation freely. Without any mental reservation. Or purpose of evasion.
Oh, my
So help me
God.
God.
Congratulations, you are citizens of the United States of America. The same oath he took as president and doesn't adhere to it.
On behalf of the Department of Homeland Security, it is my honor to call you my fellow American. Mr. President, I want to again commend
Right.
you.
And how about they only probably got sworn in and picked if they agreed to vote for him? I'm sure.
Celebration here at the White House today.
It has nothing to do with him being president, though. What does that have to do with him being president?
It's fantastic. It's really great. Thank you.
Because regardless of who's the president, at any moment, people get sworn in. They just haven't done it because of the coronavirus.
5 absolutely incredible new members into our great American family.
Oh,
You're now fellow citizens of the greatest nation on
no,
the face of God's earth.
no,
Congratulations.
no.
Great going.
Great going.
You followed the rules, you obeyed the laws, you learned your history, embraced our values, and proved yourselves to be men and women of the
Learn
highest
your history
integrity.
or the country's
It's not
history?
so easy. You went through a lot, and we appreciate you being here with us today. You've earned the most prized, treasured, cherished, and priceless possession anywhere in the world. It's called American citizenship.
Oh, is it?
There's no higher honor and no greater privilege.
There is none.
And it's an honor for me to be your president.
Oh, is it?
Thank you
Dear
very
God.
much. At this time, I'd like to recognize the 5 new citizens who join us today.
This will be fun.
Martin Ramirez Alcazar is from Bolivia and has been a lawful permanent resident of the United States since 2013.
Oh.
Robert. Hi, Robert. He and his wife are raising 3 beautiful children.
Are they?
In 2017, Robert achieved the dream of starting his own business,
Oh.
a construction company that now employs 5 workers. Robert says, I love this country. I want to respect the law.
Oh.
America has helped me so much in life. Robert, thank you very much for your devotion.
Oh, devotion. For your devotion.
Thank you. Good luck.
Please pay attention to the words.
Soon you'll have hundreds of employees, I think, right?
All right. Good.
Could happen. It will. Rima Gideon is from Lebanon and is the proud mother of 3 children. Rima speaks English, Arabic, and French, and earned a degree in psychology.
Oh.
In other
Gaha.
words, she can figure me out.
I mean, anybody can figure you out. You're pretty simple.
Teacher in Virginia. Rima says, I feel blessed to be a loyal citizen of the greatest country in the world, a country that has given me the opportunity of a lifetime to realize my potential and my dreams.
That ice picked up. Right.
That's very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Sudha Sundari Narayan is
bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
phenomenal success. Born in India, came to the United States 13 years ago. Sudha is a talented software developer.
13
She
years
and her
ago.
husband are raising
Okay.
2 beautiful, wonderful children.
Oh.
The apples of your life, right? Well, thank you very much. And
The
congratulations.
apples of your life.
Fantastic job.
The phrase is apples of your eye, but apples of your life.
Awal Side is from Sudan, and that's a beautiful name, and has been a lawful permanent resident since 2012. She is the married mother of 3 beautiful children, earned a
It's a
master's
shithole
degree
country.
and PhD in animal nutrition from the University of Wyoming. Great place, great state. And she is a trained veterinarian. She's also worked as a substitute teacher for the Alexandria Public School since 2004. That's fantastic.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
My honor to be with you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Salah Abdul Samad has been looking forward to this day since he arrived in the United States from Ghana in 2015.
Another shithole country.
Speaks 5 languages and works the medical field. Salih says that the American citizenship means everything to me in my life. It cannot be measured or quantified. I have the chance to work hard and succeed in life. To know that I am in the safe country like America. That
Safe?
really
No, you ain't
because I
safe.
know they have my back. Salih,
You are not safe in this country. Not with your no, brother. You ain't safe.
with the rights and
As soon as you
freedoms
walk
each of
out that
now
joint,
enjoys as
the police are gonna
citizens,
get
there's
you.
no dream beyond your wildest reach, because Americans can do anything. Today, you have also accepted the profound duties and responsibilities that come with American citizenship. By swearing the oath of allegiance, each of you has entered a sacred and unbreakable covenant
Oh my God! Don't touch me.
with our nation. You have pledged your undying loyalty to the American people,
Oh
the
my
American
goodness, this
Constitution,
delay.
and the American way of life. The history and heritage of the United States
is
are now
crazy.
yours to preserve and pass down to the next generation.
This is
Our
ridiculous.
culture, our traditions, and
You
our
can't make
values are
this
now
up.
yours to uphold and live by. The rights so dear to every American granted by
Now, mind you, the same
Us,
folks that are his base
by God,
don't want this. They don't want these people in their country.
are now yours to support, protect, and defend. As citizens, you're now stewards of this magnificent
Jesus.
nation, a family comprised of every race,
You
color,
really can't
religion,
make
and
this
creed.
up.
United by the bonds of love, we are one people sharing one home, saluting one great American flag. Congratulations again to all of you. May God bless you, and may God bless our great country, America.
There you go with Lincoln again in the background. They killed me with this Lincoln bit. Always a reminder.
Good evening, America.
Oh, this idiot.
When I stood on this convention stage 4
Because
years
you'll be
ago,
in jail.
no one
You
fully
are
understood
fake
the
news.
historic change that was about to take place.
Bing,
We
bing,
could all
bong,
feel it.
bong, bing,
Something was happening. A movement was forming just below the surface.
It's
The forgotten man
nitwit.
and woman, voice in Washington, D.C., were preparing to rise up. Our movement followed the pattern of so many that came before us. First, we were ignored. Then we were laughed at.
Oh,
Then they fought us. And then, together, we won.
no, you
From that
won
moment
with the
forward,
help of
America
Russia.
came first.
You didn't
America
win on
started
your own.
winning again. America became respected again.
Oh,
But with every movement, there's a counter movement.
are they
In the
respected?
view of the
That's why your
radical
father's
Democrats,
laughed at?
America is the source of the world's problems. As a result, they believe the only path forward is to erase history and forget the past. They want to destroy the monuments of our forefathers. They want to disrespect our flag, burn the stars and stripes. That represent
Destroy the
patriotism
monuments
and the
of your
American dream.
forefathers? You mean
They
destroy
want to
the monuments of
disrespect our national
traitors?
anthem by taking a knee while our armed forces lay down their lives every day
bing,
to
bing,
protect our
bong,
freedom.
bong, bing, bing, bing.
That's
They do
all I
not
hear.
want the Pledge of Allegiance in our schools. Many of them don't want one nation under God. The
What?
Democrats want to defund and disrespect our law enforcement. The Democrats want an America where your thoughts and opinions are censored when they do not align with their own.
What is he
President
talking
Reagan said,
about?
freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction.
See, we was doing better than yesterday till just now. We were doing a little bit better than yesterday until this idiot started speaking.
My father ran not because he needed the job, but because he
Bing,
knew
bing,
hardworking
bong,
people
bing,
across
bing,
this
bing.
great country.
He needed the money. That's why he
Media
ran.
mocked
He
these
needed the
patriots
money.
in the flyover states in which they lived.
He needed the
They
money.
ignored the Trump flags. They ignored the millions of MAGA banners and barns
Right.
painted
He
in
should have
red,
shaved just
white,
Jeff.
and blue.
He looks
The
horrible.
silent majority had no one fighting for them. in
Don't
either
worry
party.
about it. That
Their so-called
Attorney
leaders are
General
bowing
of
to
New
China,
York is
bribing
coming for
Iran,
his
and
ass.
spending more time worrying about how they'd be received by the elites in Paris than how Americans would provide for their families in Pittsburgh.
As you talking about the elites
Our
of
family
Russia.
lost friends, but it only pushed us to fight harder. My father pledged to every American in every
Yeah, he
city,
lost friends,
state,
all right.
town,
Like Jeffrey
he was going
Epstein,
to make America great again. And so
person he
began the
claims
Great
he did
American
not
Comeback.
know.
Almost immediately,
It's
taxes
been
were
to
slashed,
Mar-a-Lago
regulations
more
were
than
cut,
twice.
and the economy soared to new heights never seen before. Wages went through the roof. Unemployment reached the historic lows, especially for Black Americans, Hispanic Americans. and
Here
women.
we go. Keep in that
Trade
line.
deals were ripped up
You
and
had nothing to do with
renegotiated.
that.
Lights were turned back on in abandoned factories across our country.
And they're being
Trillions
cut
of dollars
back
were
off.
repatriated back to the United States, which had been sitting in foreign lands for far too long. Once again,
Oh my
America
gosh.
became the envy of the world. And with that renewed strength came leverage. The president demanded that our allies pay their fair share for the defense of the Western world. My father rebuilt the mighty American military, adding new jets, aircraft carriers. He increased wages for our incredible men and women in uniform. He expanded our military defense budget to $721 billion per
No,
year.
did it? Lies.
America was no longer weak in the eye of the enemy.
No,
The
that's
moment
why they
President
laugh
Trump
at
ordered
him.
Special forces kill some of the deadliest terrorists on the planet.
What terrorist
The
did
day
he
the mighty
kill?
Moab was dropped on insurgent camps is the day America took a stance to never be defeated by the enemy. Al-Baghdadi, Soleimani, dead.
He did that for the
Over and over,
Saudis.
issue
He didn't
after
do that
issue,
for
the
America.
economy, the wall,
He
the
did that
military,
for
trade
Saudi
deals,
Arabia.
tax cuts,
That's who he
Supreme
did that
Court
for.
justices, VA hospitals, prescription drugs, school
He's so
choice,
full of
right to
shit.
try, moving the embassy to Jerusalem, peace in the
Oh
Middle
my
East.
gosh, here we go with this
Never-ending wars
Jerusalem
were
thing.
finally
You've
ending.
been working with
Promises
Netanyahu
made
the whole time. That's why he's
for the first time were
about to go to
kept.
court for corruption.
Most politicians spend their entire
The
careers
same
in
thing that
Washington,
should be
DC,
happening to
get
President Trump.
absolutely nothing accomplished. For example, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a politician who has been in government for 47 years. He's a career politician who's never signed the front of a check and does not know the slightest thing about the American worker.
And Donald Trump
nor the
has?
American business.
Come on, please.
The engine which fuels the greatest economy the world has ever known. The same politician who has been a total pushover for communist China. Come on, man. And someone who would be a giant relief for terrorists who now spend years running, hiding, and being taken out by the most talented military known to man. Joe Biden has pledged to raise your taxes by $4 trillion.
Oh, Lord.
82% of Americans will see their taxes go up significantly.
You are fake news.
Stop border wall construction and give amnesty and health care to all illegal immigrants. Biden has pledged to defund the police and take away your cherished Second Amendment. My father, on the other hand, delivered the largest tax cuts in American history, knows if you do not have a border, you do not have a country, and will always support law enforcement and your right to keep and bear arms.
Who's taking that away?
Fights for the American people.
Just trying to add more regulations so people with disorders don't have access to guns and shoot up people for no reason.
It built the New York City skyline. It built the Hoover Dam.
For free.
And soon,
for free, idiot.
It will send Americans to Mars.
Oh.
The American spirit can be felt in the majesty of the Grand Canyon.
Bing, bing, bong,
the shadows of Mount Rushmore and the stillness of the air at Gettysburg. It can be seen in the wide-eyed wonder of every American child as they take their first breath in the greatest country the world has ever known. It defeated fascism, it defeated communism, and in 68 days, it will defeat the empty, oppressive, and radical views of the extreme left. Ronald Reagan's quote ends with this simple one.
Oh my gosh.
One day we could spend our sunset years telling our children what it was once like in the United States where men and women were free. Under President Trump, freedom will never be a thing of the past. That's what a vote for Donald Trump represents. It's a vote for the American spirit, the American dream, and for the American flag.
For white folks.
To the law enforcement who's been attacked, betrayed, and whose job they are trying to make extinct. My father will fight for you.
For killing unarmed people?
And to all people of faith, stripped of our religious freedoms and religious liberties.
Who's stripping you of religious freedoms and liberties when
to the voiceless?
You get to say who you're not going to allow into your churches if that's not part of your religious practice.
Farmers who work dawn to dusk to keep our plates full, my father will fight for you.
Just like he's fighting with his terrorists?
To our veterans, our coal miners, and to the American worker.
Does anybody use coal anymore?
And to every proud American who bleeds red, white, and blue, my father will continue to fight for you.
Somebody bleeds red, white, and blue. They might need to get checked out. That's not good.
I miss working alongside you every single day.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm damn proud to be on the front lines of this fight. I'm proud of what you are doing for this country. I'm proud to show my children what their grandfather's fighting for.
And I'm proud to testify against you and go to jail.
Never stop.
Idiot.
Continue to be unapologetic. Keep fighting for what is right. You are making America strong again. You are making America safe again.
You are making America racist again.
And yes, together with a forgotten man and woman who are finally forgotten no more.
Who's forgotten?
You are making America great again. Dad, let's make Uncle Robert very proud this week. Let's go get another 4 years. I love you very much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Oh. Well, that was awesome. That was really great.
We're going to build a future of safety and opportunity for Americans of every race, color, religion, and creed.
You know, in Biden's America, there aren't opportunity zones. Here you have an administration that actually looks at how can government and private enterprise work together.
As we fight to deliver a better future for all women and for all Americans, we remember the wonderful victory once.
Ladies appeared at the polls on election day by the hundreds of thousands. They had won their right to vote.
Before the China virus set in, it struck our nation. Women had gained 4.3 million jobs, a record. The women's unemployment rate had plummeted to the lowest level in more than 65 years. And last year, over 70% of the new jobs went to women. And I will say we're coming back very strongly.
We have the most opportunity.
That's the American story, isn't it? That we have hope that even though we're in dark days now, that the days ahead hold greater possibilities because of the opportunities that we've been given in our country.
Oh, that's why he's speaking. Got it.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Cameron. I'm 34 years old.
Oh my
and the
God.
first African-American Attorney General in Kentucky history. It is an honor to be with you.
Instead of you sitting here, how about you figure out what's happening with the killers of Breonna Taylor?
Just a few miles from
Come on,
Lincoln's
man.
birthplace.
I
Our
can't.
first Republican president believed in compassion, self-reliance, freedom, equality.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sadly, there are some who don't believe in this wisdom or in the better angels of our shared American history. As they
This
tear
is
down
the
the
same
statues of
individual.
people like Ulysses S. Grant, Frederick Douglass, and even Mr. Lincoln himself. Lincoln said, "Any nation that does not honor its heroes will not long endure." And for Republicans, our heroes are those who propelled an imperfect nation ever forward, always striving to make life better.
Oh, come on.
Even as anarchists
Come
mindlessly
on.
tear up American cities while attacking police and innocent bystanders, we Republicans do
Who?
recognize those who work in good faith towards peace,
Who?
justice, and equality.
Yeah, well, you get
In
peace
fact,
and justice for
it was
Breonna
Dwight
Taylor.
Eisenhower, a
You do
future
that
Republican
since you
president,
worried so
who
much.
said democracy is a system that recognizes
That's
the equality
bullshit.
of humans before the law. Whether you are the family of Breonna Taylor or David Dorn, these are the ideals that will heal our nation's wounds. Republicans will never turn a blind eye to unjust acts. Neither will we accept an all-out assault on Western civilization.
Well,
My values
that's what Russia's
were shaped by
doing.
my faith and by my parents.
Oh,
I worked at their small coffee shop, meeting people from all walks of life.
great. Good for
And I
you.
realized something.
What did you
No matter
realize?
who we are, everyone needs a cup of coffee.
Ugh.
That lesson stuck with me because despite our differences,
Oh.
we all want the same things.
Yeah, coffee.
For our children to have more opportunities than we did.
He is the actually Attorney General for Kentucky, which still has not charged the 3 officers that killed Breonna Taylor.
So the question is, will we choose the path that gives us the best chance to meet those universal desires? Or will we go back to a time when people
Don't
were
give a
treated
shit.
like political commodities who can't be trusted to think for themselves? I think often about my ancestors who struggled for freedom.
Do you?
And as I think of those giants and their broad shoulders, I also think about Joe Biden, who says, "If you aren't voting for me, you ain't black," who argued that Republicans would put us back in chains, who says there is no diversity of thought in the black community. Mr. Vice President, look at me. I am black. We are not all the same, sir. I am not in chains. My mind is my own. And you can't tell me how to vote because of the color of my
But
skin.
you are in chains.
Joe Biden is a backwards thinker. Trail of discredited ideas and offensive statements. Joe Biden would destroy jobs, raise our taxes, and throw away the lives of countless unborn children. And he is captive to the radical left, a movement committed to cancel culture and the destruction of public discourse. They believe your skin color must dictate your politics. And if you fail to conform while exercising your God-given right to speak and think freely, they will cut you down.
Who?
The politics of identity, cancellation, and mob rule are not acceptable to me.
Oh,
Republicans trust you to think for yourself and to
Do
pursue
they?
your American dream.
Do they really?
However you see fit. Mr.
Okay.
Lincoln said the dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present.
Right.
The occasion is piled high with difficulty, and we must rise to the
Math is good to us,
I
y'all.
believe Donald Trump can
Y'all
meet
can't-
Lincoln's mandate, even as Joe Biden remains trapped by
Oh
his
my
own
gosh.
failed record and by the radicals who dominate his party.
What radicals?
Let's be honest. No one is excited about Joe Biden. And so I ask you to judge the record. On criminal justice reform, Joe Biden couldn't do it. But President Trump did.
He did not. There's
economy,
still mass incarceration. That still exists.
But President Trump did build an economy that
No.
worked for
Actually,
everyone,
Joe
especially
Biden
minorities,
was a part
and
of
he
the
will
economy
do it
uptick
again.
under Barack
And on
Obama.
immigration,
So that's lie.
Joe Biden promises more to illegal immigrants than he does to you. But President Trump believes his highest duty is to the American worker. choice
Then
is
why does he have immigrants
Let me
working at
close
his
with something my
hotels
mom
instead of
told me.
American
This country's many
workers?
faces comprise a family, not separate parts to be divided against each other. And like any family, we care for one another. We grieve together.
Oh,
we
do
share
you?
our burdens and our struggles,
Oh.
and we celebrate our successes.
Okay.
And though we fuss and fight,
Uh-huh.
we are not enemies.
Oh.
We are Americans.
Well, you tell that
united
to
by a
those
collective
other
faith
people.
in our Constitution and laws and the fundamental fairness they represent. We are defenders of life and of individual liberty, and we carry the mantle of Eisenhower and of Reagan to be a force for good in this world, and one that must always nation, an evergreen tree, standing tall in a turbulent world.
Mm.
And that's why I am voting for Donald Trump
Okay.
for president.
Well, you do that,
Thank
sir.
you, and God bless.
All right.
And God bless.
Oh, something's wrong with that little thing. They had a little glitch.
Hi, I'm Mike Pompeo. I'm speaking to you
Oh
from
my
beautiful
gosh.
Jerusalem, looking out over the old city. I have a big job
Another
as
crook.
Susan's husband and Nick's dad. Susan and Nick are more safe, and their freedom's more secure because President Trump has put his America First vision into action. It may not have made him popular in every foreign capital, but it's worked. President Trump
How?
understands what my great fellow Kansan President Eisenhower said. For all that we cherish and justly desire for ourselves or for
Another
our
crook.
children,
Yep.
the securing of peace is the first requisite.
Oh.
Indeed, the primary
Peace
constitutional
or
function
money?
of the national government is ensuring that your family
Right.
and mine are safe and enjoy the freedom to live, to work,
Because
to
you'd be in
learn,
jail.
and to worship as they choose.
He's another
Delivering
one.
on this duty to
Crooked.
keep us safe and our freedoms intact. This president has led bold initiatives in nearly every corner of the world.
That's why they're so cozy with
China.
Jerusalem.
He's pulled back the curtain on the predatory aggression of the Chinese Communist Party. The president has held China accountable for covering up the China virus and allowing it to spread death and economic destruction in America and around the world. And he will not rest until justice is done. He has ensured that the Chinese Communist Party spies posing as diplomats in America are jailed or sent back to China. And he has ended the ridiculously unfair trade arrangement with China that punched a hole in our economy.
Right. When you think they can't
Those
get any
jobs-
douchey.
Those jobs are coming back home. In North
That's
Korea,
funny.
The president lowered the temperature and against all odds got the North Korean leadership to the table. No
This
nuclear
whole fake
tests,
news,
no long
it's
range
phony
missile
stuff.
tests, and
It didn't
Americans held
happen.
captive in North Korea came home to their families as did the precious remains of scores of heroes who fought in Korea. Today, because of President Trump, NATO is stronger. Ukraine has defensive weapon systems,
And America left a harmful treaty so our nation can now build missiles to deter Russian aggression.
What?
And in the Middle East.
Oh,
When
bullshit.
Iran threatened, the president approved a strike that killed the Iranian terrorist Qasem Soleimani. This is the man most responsible for the murder and maiming of hundreds of American soldiers.
No.
Thousands of Christians across the Middle East.
You mean the same soldiers that Russia has a bounty on their
Radical
head?
Islamic terrorists had beheaded Americans.
Come on.
And ISIS controlled a territory in the size of Great Britain. Today, because of the president's determination and leadership, the ISIS caliphate is wiped out. It's gone. Its evil leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, is dead.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen.
The president exited the U.S. from the disastrous nuclear deal with Iran and squeezed the Ayatollah, Hezbollah, and Hamas. The president, too, moved the U.S. embassy to this very city of God, Jerusalem, the rightful capital of the Jewish homeland. And just 2 weeks ago,
so you take
the
it from
president brokered a historic peace deal between Israel and the United Arab Emirates.
I can't.
This is a deal that our grandchildren will read about in their history books. You know, as a soldier, I saw firsthand people desperate to flee to freedom. The way each of us can best ensure our freedoms is by electing leaders who don't just talk, but who deliver. An American hostage, imprisoned in Turkey for 2 years, Pastor Andrew Brunson, said upon his release that he survived his ordeal with these words of scripture: be faithful.
There you go with the religion, and he doesn't even
we stay the course.
Even practice. What are we talking
May God richly
about?
bless you, and may God bless our great nation, the United States of America.
Quiet, quiet.
Oh my gosh. She's holding his hand today. Oh, look at that, guys. No, wait, that's not her. That's that's Mike Pence. Boo. Nobody cares. I thought it was Melania giving a speech. I was about to say, oh, is she holding her hand? Hey, welcome. Oh my gosh. Where's Melania? So you mean to tell me Mike Pence walks out with his wife and he walks out by himself? Says a lot about their marriage. I mean, pay attention.
You are fake news.
It's fake. Oh, she's got to walk out by... What? Are we serious?
It is my great honor to present First Lady Melania Trump.
First Lady Melania Trump. First Lady Melania Trump officially kicking off her Be Best initiative. She is
That's a bullshit initiative because he's the biggest bully. So I don't even understand
Let's join together
the
in
point.
meeting to help children dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything they do.
This is her showcasing what she brings to the position of First Lady.
She is smart, independent, and I think people underestimated her big time.
First Lady was amazing. She was gracious, empathetic, and showed true compassion.
First Lady Melania Trump stepping out onto the world stage.
Her Be-Based campaign is now going international.
She has the advantage of speaking several languages. She can be a diplomat for our country.
Sun will shine, which was greeted by children. This, of course, is her continuing to work on her Be Best campaign by shining a spotlight on several programs that teach children tools and skills.
Well, why don't she teach them same skills to her husband?
Throughout history, women have made lasting impacts on society.
Oh, dummies, your first lady is an immigrant.
As First Lady of the United States, I'm proud of what this country continues to do.
No.
We as women.
Our
great tool of empowerment, our voices.
It was a very important moment for Melania Trump. This was a really...
Oh, they ain't show that part where she wasn't trying to hold his hand.
Rose Garden has been renovated for the first time in 60 years.
When the history books are written, there should be a special chapter reserved for our First Lady. She is an incredible First Lady.
An amazing mother, an incredible woman, First Lady Melania Trump.
Right. Let's see let's see whose speech she steals from now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the First Lady of the United States, Mrs. Melania Trump.
She walking mighty slow. Hey, what's up, Rico? How you doing? She got on her military army green today. She's a soldier in the war for social media bullying.
Quiet, 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 quiet.
Good evening.
Oh, she nervous.
It seems like just yesterday that we were at our first convention where my husband accepted the Republican nomination and then became.
She need to figure out what camera to look at. She looking at the wrong camera.
Yet the energy and
There she goes, still looking at the wrong camera.
who should lead this nation. It is real today as it was 4 years ago.
There you go. Oh, no, she
I know
missed
I
it.
speak for my husband and the entire family when I say we have not forgotten the incredible people who were willing to take a chance on the businessmen who had never worked in politics. We know it was you who elected him to be commander-in-chief.
Bing, bing, bang,
And we know
ding.
it is you who will carry us through again. We were humbled by the incredible support then, and we are still grateful today. I want to acknowledge the fact that since swept across our beautiful country and impacted who are ill or suffer. No, you're not alone. My husband's administration will not stop fighting until there is an effective treatment or vaccine available to everyone. He has done all he can to take care of everyone impacted by this terrible pandemic. I want to extend my gratitude to all of the healthcare professionals, frontline workers, and teachers who stepped up in these difficult times. Despite the risk to yourselves and your own families, you put our country first, and my husband and I are grateful. I have been moved by the way Americans have come together in such an unfamiliar and often frightening situation. It is in times like this that we will look back and tell our grandchildren that through kindness and compassion, strength and determination, we were able to restore the promise of our future. Businesses stepped up and volunteers stepped in. People were eager to share ideas, resources, and support of all kinds with neighbors and strangers alike. It has been inspiring to see what the people of our great nation will do for one another, especially when we are at our most fragile. the White House, we unveil an exhibit dedicated to women's suffrage. The exhibit called on children from across the country to send art honoring the meaning of this important time in women's history. When I was judging the entries, I reflected on the impact of women's voices.
You reflected on your own life
story,
and your own
and how
suffrage,
proud I
being
would
married
be
to
cast
Donald
my
Trump.
vote again for Donald this November. We must make sure
She
that
lying.
women are heard and that the American dream continues to thrive. Growing up as a young child in Slovenia, which was under communist rule at the time, I always heard about an amazing place called America, a land that stood for freedom and opportunity. As I grew older, it became my goal to move to the United States
It sure did.
and follow my dream of working in the fashion industry.
Oh, were you working or
My
popping
parents
your
worked
legs
very
open for
hard to ensure
Playboy?
our family could not only live and prosper in America, but also contribute to a nation that allows for people to arrive with a dream
Best
and make it
Viagra.
reality. I want to take the moment to thank my mother and father for all they have done for our family. It is because of you that I'm standing here today.
I miss Michelle too. Really, much better.
I arrived in the United States when I was 26 years old.
Oh,
Living and working in the land of opportunity was a dream come true, but I wanted I studied for the test in 2006 and became an American citizen.
oh. Brought in peace. Right.
It is still one of the proudest moments in my life because with hard work and determination, I was able to achieve my own American dream.
Oh.
As an immigrant and a very independent woman,
Oh.
I understand what a privilege it is to live here and to enjoy the freedoms and opportunities that we have.
Oh.
As First Lady, I have been fortunate to see the American dream come true over and over again.
Have you?
I have met many inspiring women,
Oh.
children, parents, and families who have overcome life-changing issues that include
Amazing.
addiction, homelessness,
Amazing.
family members who are ill or have passed away, abuse of all kinds, and many other challenges that would make most people give up.
No.
The past 3.5 years have been unforgettable.
You don't
There are no
say.
words to describe how honored, humbled, and fortunate I am to serve our nation as your First Lady.
Well, what have you done?
After many of the experiences I've had, I don't know if I can fully explain how many people I take home with me in my heart each day.
Oh.
From brave soldiers who give up so much so that we can be free, to children of all circumstances who I have met around the world. Thank you for inspiring me.
Oh.
It is my greatest honor to serve you.
Mm.
When I speak to members of the military, despite experience the fear of war or suffering loss, they have no regrets about serving our country. The same goes for their families and the families of first responders who often watch their loved ones walk out the door, not sure if or when they will come home. When I speak to families who have lost someone, the pain mixed with pride I hear in their voices is something I think about often. So thank you to all who serve our country in the military and as first responders. And thank you to the families who wait for them. You are our heroes in your own right. I have also been moved by the many children and families I've spent time with at hospitals, schools, and other locations around the world.
Okay.
Children who are dealing with pain or illness that would break even the strongest adult. Parents who are great to what faith and medicine and science can do. On my first international trip as First Lady, my husband Judaism. One special memory from that trip is of a young boy I had privilege of visiting while at Bambino Gesù Hospital in Rome, Italy. While there, I read the little boy a story and learned that he and his family had been waiting for a heart for a very long time, and he had a grim prognosis. His situation brought my staff and me to tears, and we spoke of a little else as we flew to Belgium for the next part of our trip.
They would have talked about Obama like a dog had he been
On
his
landing
third
just
wife.
a few hours later, we learned that a heart had been donated and would be going to the little one. I think about him often, along with so many amazing and strong young patients across our own country. More profound and sadly unavoidable examples of our country's strength and character have occurred in the communities that have been impacted by natural disasters. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding may show the ugly side of Mother Nature, but in their aftermath, they can show us a beautiful side of humanity. My husband and I have visited many places that have been affected by natural disasters. Of neighbors and communities. The common thread in all of these challenging situations is the unwavering resolve to help one another. I recognize the stories I just told are about people who survive extraordinary circumstances. But Donald and I are also inspired by the millions of Americans who wake up each day with a simple You are the backbone of this country. You are the people who continue to make the United States of America what it is, and who have the incredible responsibility of preparing our future generations to leave everything even better than they found it. Just as you are fighting for your families, my husband, our family, and the people in this administration are here fighting for you. No matter the amount of negative or false media headlines or attacks from the other side, Donald Trump has not and will not lose focus on you. He loves this country, and he knows how to get things done. As you have learned over the past 5 years, he's not a traditional politician.
He's not a politician at all.
He demands action, and he gets results. The future of our country has always been very important to him. And it is something that I have always
Future of this
admired.
country or the future of his pocket?
In fact, it is to help ensure a better future for our next generation that I launched Be Best, my initiative to help children achieve their fullest potential.
You are fake news.
Be Best has one simple goal: teaching youth about the importance of their well-being, both mentally.
Have you taught that to your husband,
This
sweetheart?
also includes understanding online safety and the dangers of opioid and drug abuse. Through Be Best, my
Okay.
office and I have been able to highlight people, programs, and organizations that are doing extraordinary things in our country and around the world. I continue to believe that by shining a light
She can
on
tune
these
in.
positive examples, others across the country and globe will become inspired to do their part for our next
Right. This
generation.
is a struggle speech.
Helping children is not a political goal. It is our moral imperative. When I think back to a defining moment of Be Best, my mind goes to a trip I took to Africa. On that vast and beautiful continent, I was able to visit the countries of Ghana, Malawi, Kenya, and Egypt. One of those visits, in particular, had a profound impact on me. Ghana, on the coast of West Africa, was the first stop on my trip,
I want to see
and
the
I
receipts as
experienced
well.
firsthand its warm people and their traditions. While there, I visited the Cape Coast Castle and learned more about the beginning of a cruel and often deadly journey in the era of the slave trade. I was horrified when I listened to the guide tell me so many inhumane stories, and I gained new perspectives. This time in our history, we must never forget, so that we can ensure that it never happens again.
Oh, slavery, did you?
Like all of you, I have reflected on the racial unrest in our country.
What have you
It is a
discovered?
harsh reality that we are not proud of parts of our history.
Oh, look at that.
I encourage people to focus on our future while still learning from our past. We must remember that today we are all one community comprised of many races, religions, and ethnicities. Our diverse and storied history is what makes our country strong.
Does it now?
And yet, we still have so much to learn from one another.
Right.
With that in mind, I like to call on the citizens of this country to take a moment, pause, and look at things from all perspectives.
Right.
I urge people to come together in a civil manner so we can work and live up to our standard American ideals.
Racial undress.
I also ask people to stop the violence and looting being done in the name of justice. And never make assumptions based on the color of a person's skin.
Oh, who's doing that?
Instead of tearing things down, let's reflect on our mistakes. Be proud of our evolution.
So the killing of unarmed black people is a mistake? Oh, gee.
Every day,
If
let
it
us
was just
remember
that simple.
that we are one nation under God, and we need to cherish one another.
Oh.
My husband's administration has worked to try and effect change when it comes to issues around race and religion in this country. He's the first president to address a special session of the United Nations General Assembly.
The what?
To call upon
Repeat
countries
that whole
across the
line
world
one more
to end
time.
religious persecution and honor the right of every person to worship as they choose. There's substantial investments in our historical black colleges and universities.
He hasn't given the checks over
The
yet, though.
president also continues to fight for school choice, giving parents more options to help their children.
Oh, tell the truth about the school choice
My
shit.
husband knows how to
They
make
get
a
to
real
make
change.
money from the
From the
government
day that I met
by
him,
picking
he has
certain
only
children.
wanted to make this country the best it can be.
No, he wanted to make his
For many
pockets the
years,
best they
I
could
watched him grow concerned and frustrated,
be. He's not.
and I'm so proud to see the many things he has done in such a short time.
Oh, well,
America is in his heart.
is
So
it?
while at times we only see the worst of people,
That heart
in
must be pretty
politics
crowded
and
with as fat as he is.
let's remember how we come together in the most difficult times. And while debate rages on about issues of race, let's focus on the strides we have made and work together for a better tomorrow for everyone. Our administration has also devoted historic resources and produced life-saving results by raising awareness around opioid addiction and drug abuse, especially for children. When so often the headlines are filled with gossip, I want to take this moment to encourage the media to focus even more on the nation's drug crisis. This disease is one that affects everybody.
Yeah.
It pays no attention to race,
It
age,
sure doesn't.
or socioeconomic status.
Sure doesn't.
Addiction has touched every part of our society.
It has.
And now,
but nobody was concerned about it when it was in the inner
programs in
city. Now all of a sudden it has reached suburbia. It's a huge problem.
And you, the media, have the platforms to make that happen. To the media industry and as a country, I ask that we all commit to helping in our fights against drug addiction by talking about it even more. Especially as we battle the COVID pandemic. We need to remember that suicides are on the rise as people who are struggling with loneliness and addiction feel they have nowhere to turn.
Train migration.
Parents,
right, exactly.
Please talk to your children. Teachers and caregivers, pay attention to signs of addiction. Lawmakers, pass legislation that allows those who ask for help to do so safely and without fear, and to provide resources for organizations that help people impacted by addiction.
Okay.
When the stigma is removed, people will no longer be ashamed to ask for help, and lives will be saved. And if you're struggling with addiction, there is no shame in your illness. Please seek help. You're worth it. In my next 4 years as First Lady, I will continue to build upon the best and
that's ambitious.
To pass legislation to take care of our most vulnerable. I plan to continue the work I have started with children in foster care, as well as the minority communities and tribal nations.
You might as well do that.
I want to ensure children are being protected and communities have the resources needed to combat drug addiction and child neglect or abuse. Like my husband and the administration, I will continue to encourage education that supports a child's individual needs. It is vital that children are given the building blocks to succeed. I also look forward to continue my work to restore the People's House, which is a lasting symbol of pride for our nation. I believe this iconic home needs to be cared for and preserved so it can be enjoyed by the people of this country and visitors from around the world for years to come. I'm passionate about this beautiful house, the grounds.
Are you? Well, your husband's not. That's
and
funny.
now I have a special message for the mothers of this country. This modern world is moving so fast, and our children face challenges that seem to change every few months. Just like me, I know many of you watch how mean and manipulative social media can be. And just like me, I'm sure many of you are looking for answers how to talk to your children about the downside of technology.
Did she say how to TikTok or talk?
Like every parent in this country, I feel there are so many lessons to teach our son and responsibilities as his mother, but there are just not enough hours in the day to do it all. I remind myself that I'm more fortunate than most.
Oh my God.
And still have days that I look for wisdom and strength to do the very best I can for him.
What does that got to do with?
To mothers and parents everywhere, you are warriors. In my husband, you have a president who will not stop fighting for you and your families. I see how hard he works each day and night. And
he doesn't work until 12 or noon. So what work is he doing so hard at night?
In fact,
if
you tell him he cannot be done, he just works harder. Donald?
No. Quiet.
Donald is a husband who supports me in all that I do. He has built an administration with an unprecedented number of women in leadership roles and has fostered an environment where the American
the lady behind him don't even believe it. Look at her side-eyeing.
He welcomes different points of view and encourages thinking outside of the box. I know I speak for my husband and the family when I say we are so grateful that you have trusted him to be our president. And we will be honored to serve this incredible country for 4 more years.
Oh, well, too bad.
As you have heard this evening, I don't want to use this precious time attacking the other side.
You are
Because
fake
as we
news.
saw last week, that kind of talk serves to divide the country further.
You mean the same talk
I'm
that
here
he talked
because
to
we
day
need my
one?
husband to be our president and commander-in-chief for 4 more years.
I'm confused. Eric Trump
He's
was just
what
talking crap.
is best for our country.
Ugh.
We all know Donald Trump makes no secrets
The people-
about how he feels about things.
Oh.
Total honesty is
Speech
what
must
we
be over
as
soon because they're
citizens
snapping
deserve
pictures.
from our president. Whether you like it or not, you always know what he's thinking.
That's because he
And that
don't
is
think
because
much.
he's an authentic person who loves this country and its people and wants to continue to make it better. Donald wants to keep your family safe. He wants to help your family succeed. He wants nothing more than for this country to prosper, and he doesn't waste time playing politics.
What?
Almost 4 years ago, we went into Election Day completely underestimated.
Oh my gosh. Okay, get
Despite
to
what is
it.
being said again
Let's
this
go.
year, I know, just as you do, that Americans will go to the polls and vote on the behalf of our families, our economy, our national security, and our children's future.
Oh my gosh.
To vote for those ideals
Let's go.
is not a partisan vote.
It is.
It is a common sense vote.
Oh, we won't talk about
Because
common sense.
those are
Don't
goals
do
and
that.
hopes that we all believe in.
He's far from having
I
common
believe
sense.
that we need my husband's leadership now more than ever in
The-
order to bring us back.
He's already
once again
shown
to
what
the
his leadership
greatest
can do,
economy
sweetheart.
and
And
the
no thank you.
strongest country ever
He's
known.
already shown us what our leadership can
God
do.
bless you all, your families, and God bless the United States of America.
Okay, great.
Come on, man. Come on, people.
All right. Did you see that? He went to kiss her on the lips and she totally turned her face so she Come on. You can't make this up. He went to kiss on the lips. She said, no. No, we're not doing that. It's a mess. It's a total mess. I can't. As soon as they get out a shot of camera, she gonna release his hand. She cannot stand that man, but I guess she plays along. That check must be pretty nice. Ugh. Yeah. I don't see it. Ain't that much money in the world, girl. You got it. All right. Well, nobody wants to see them dance along because I know she's going to remove her hand eventually. And yeah. Look, she did it already. Look, hand removed. And she's going to go her way. He's going to go his. Yep. Yep. Figured as much. Well, all right. All right. Well, that was interesting. Same as before. A lot of kind of hateful language skating around it or whatever. That last bit, I mean, I wasn't sold on it. Of course, everybody was going to be watching to make sure she didn't copyright from somebody else's speech. So she had to talk about stuff that she does, and nobody really pays attention to her Be Best program because he's the very culprit of what Be Best was about. It was about cyberbullying, not necessarily about drugs and the opioid crisis that all of a sudden now Be Best is a part of. But Be Best originally, when she rolled it out to the American people, was about cyberbullying and all of that. So I wonder how that changed all of a sudden. But as as the world turns for this White House. But anyway, guys, it has been 3 hours, and thank you guys for sticking out and hanging out with me during this day 2 of the RNC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I mean, this was different from me because I don't really do side-by-side reactions. So thank you so much for hanging out and participating with me. It was fun. I don't know. I may do this tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. But it was fun. It was fun. I enjoyed it. The little sound bar was cool too. So I found that, but that was cool. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. It's finally over. I know, right? We had to sit through a whole bunch of mistruths and facts that they were pulling out the side of their behinds, and a lot of it was some heavy mayonnaise with a lot of seasoning salt. Heavy mayonnaise with a lot of seasoning salt, I guess, to drive it home that that they are for the African American. Like, yeah, okay, sure, but I don't know. It hasn't changed my vote. Nonetheless, he's still getting the hell up out of here because he won't be grabbing.
Grab him by the pussy.
He won't be grabbing me by nobody's pussy. I'm sorry, I can't. We're not doing that. Nobody was wearing a mask, I noticed, and yeah. Nobody was 6 feet apart, as you should be. Even though they was testing, they still had no mask. So that was interesting to see. But again, that's a sign that he's sending to the rest of the world to go back as business as usual while people are still dying and the numbers are climbing. And remember, nobody mentioned coronavirus. Nobody mentioned the number of deaths. Nobody mentioned the millions that have been infected. No one mentioned that. We just, tried to go on as, he's made this great economy. The economy was already on an uptick when Obama left office. He was handed a surplus. He was not handed an economy in crisis. So let's be very clear on that. He was not handed an economy on crisis. And as far as this crime bill or this thing that they like to push out, Obama had already had a crime bill pushed out that would reduce sentences as far as these Rockefeller drug laws that would, give harsh sentences to people who were charged with low drug charges, like having small amount of drugs on them. They would get these huge charges. Obama's program pushed that back. That's all he did was erase Obama's name off it and put his name on it. But as far as mass incarceration, I want you all to know that mass incarceration still exists even under this program because the prisons have to meet a quota. They have to have a certain amount of bodies in these prisons, especially the federal prisons, in order to receive federal funding. So they have to always make sure their bodies coming into the prisons. So mass incarceration, I think not. It still exists. So let's not be fooled. But moving forward, I hope you all are registered to vote. If not, please do so. If you plan on mailing in your ballot, please fill out the information to make sure your ballot comes to you today. Please fill out your census. You have a month left. I think by the end of September, they are closing down the census count. The census count, in order to account for every single person in the United States, they would have to go into the end of October. They are closing it down to the end of September because they don't want everybody counted, just as well as the post office is taking out boxes out the community and then saying, hey, we stopped it. The damage has already been done. The machines have already been dismantled. There's only some states that have reinstituted their machines, like in Washington State. They have started to reinstate their machines. So hopefully, other states start doing it as well. but we know that this election year will be one of the most serious of ever before. So please make sure that we are doing our jobs and voting. I don't really care who you vote for, but the proof is in the pudding. He's had 4 years. Let the evidence speak for itself. With 4 years, he has done this. So with another 4 years, what more do you think he's going to be able to do? Compared to someone who at least was a vice president of 8 years, and at least we had some sort of growth. So with that, like I said, again, wish you guys have a great night. I shall see you guys in 12 o'clock for the rundown midday news. So until then, have a blessed night. Thank you for all the super chats. And thank you for Cash Apps. That's what I meant. Thank you for the Cash Apps. It's been greatly appreciated. You guys be safe. Please stay safe. And stay focused. Don't sleep. Because this man is out. Okay? He's out to get it. But anyway, have a blessed night, all. Peace.